All right. Absol, it's not so much reviewing that I'm doing. I'm just reading and making fun as I go.
Holy shit.
Where
Also,
where did where did where did Man go?
I don't know.
he left to go ban me from Heart of the Forest.
Oh,
What'd you do there?
he
I didn't do anything there except just now, but I review. Go to shit mod says and you can see what I did.
I don't think I'm a mod there anymore.
No. You're in this server. Go to the mod channel here. Shit mod says.
There's a mod channel.
It's in the Bussy zone. It's the last cult of shit posting post.
Here, I'm just gonna put it in fiction room chat. There you go.
Anyway, we are now
like that.
we are now live, so it is time to run the program and see what we are going to be reading today.
My body's ready.
Aren't there like 100 programs you could already use, or?
I wanted to do it myself.
Oh, nice. Alright, well, let's get to it.
Watch it have an error.
It did.
It did.
It's because of an extra line I threw in.
God damn it. This is coding. I hate this shit. Oh, there it is.
We are reading Uchiha Heiress Remix.
Oh no.
Oh god, that sounds awful. What's the link?
Why is it got remix in it?
I don't know.
It must be a rewrite. Okay, Uchiha Heiress Remix. Found it. Okay. By JG.
Reading this and liking it during a weird stage of my life.
There is the link for anyone that wants to.
Civilian council bashing.
Yeah.
Naruto X Hinata X Fem Sasuke.
Is that 1.3 million words?
Yes.
Lee X. Oh my gosh, it is. What the
Dear
fuck?
God.
Okay.
Average 21,000 words a chapter.
It's still going.
My God.
When was it updated? About
2 months and 1 week ago.
Cool.
Oh, man. Let me
It was updated on Christmas.
Wow, what a shitty Christmas present. And I... Okay.
Can I refund my Christmas present?
No.
But...
The other choice is getting invaded by Putin.
I mean, at this point, I'll accept that.
I won't.
Before we dive into Uchiha Heiress Remix, however...
Oh, I'd like to dive into it.
I
must say this quick word from our sponsor, Rage.
No, I must complete the challenge and read Stalker, the High School Musical fanfic.
Stalker?
Yes. Stalker by Snork Maiden 15.
Stalker, Shadow of High School Musical.
See you later sometime,
Welcome
he asked hopefully nonetheless. Knowing your poor stalking skills, we definitely will. That's a summary. Okay.
What the fuck? And the username author is Snork Maiden 15.
Why?
Don't you like snorking?
I gladly inform you guys that I have been kicked from Heart of the Forest. Again?
Only this time I think it was actually deliberate.
Yeah, both times. But previously it was deliberate. Mandalore just hates me at this point.
I should post that.
Definitely hates you after what you did just then.
I could have made it worse, but I couldn't.
All right.
It would have been funny
because there's a size limit on names for guest reviewers, so Mandalore the pedophile didn't fit.
Moving on.
Anyway.
This is rated M. It's tagged as romance. Troy, Gabriella, and Chad are the characters.
I wish I could say I remember any of them, but I don't.
AN, rating M is mostly to be safe. Believe me, I know what you think. I know right now it seems like you have no time and you're too busy with all your projects, school activities, homework. For those of you who actually do homework. Yes, Jason, I'm looking at you. Okay.
Can I just say, this person's written 3 stories for High School Musical. They are still involved on the site because they favorited a story that was posted 2 months ago, which is also a High School Musical fic. And here's the fucking summary of it.
Oh.
Words are blurry. What does it say?
Gabriela Montez has one goal: to have a baby. Preferably with just Troy Bolton, her sexy neighbor / best friend.
No relation.
She has a great career. She lives in a cute studio apartment and she has a loving support system. Her life is perfect-ish. Absolutely wonderful. Except for one tiny little thing. She wants a baby. And all she needs is an egg, some sperm, and an at-home insemination kit.
Oh dear.
What?
How
about we read this one instead? It sounds like it'd be way more comical.
Or disturbing.
Or parse.
It's like that movie Don't Breathe where the dude is gonna use the turkey baster to
Inseminate the woman.
yeah.
A what?
This episode the way around and more scary.
Yep.
Moving on. Troy smirked absent-mindedly as several chuckles scattered around this classroom. He stretched his legs lazily, crossing them under the desk, and turned to stare at the window. It always seems crucial to be locked in 4 walls, trying to absorb something as tedious as school curriculum, when there's such a beautiful weather outside, just begging you to laze under the sun or jump into a pool. Softly tapping his pencil on the open notebook, he slowly lowered his eyes to the person occupying the desk nearest to the window. It's funny how even the smartest and most diligent students could sit during class with obviously bored expressions stretched across their faces. He traced the person's features, taking in the soft curls, cute nose. "Mr. Bolton," Mr. Crooks snapped, making Troy's head turn sharply to look right at him. "I understand that ogling young belles is much more entertaining than staring at an old, boring man with a graying beard and growing belly, but bear with me for 17 more minutes, please," the teacher said sternly, secretly hiding a smirk. Troy blushed instantly, but overcame it quickly, not letting himself get too embarrassed. "Oh, you are not boring at all, sir. As for the growing belly, I'm sure if you talk to my dad, he could show you a couple exercises," the boy answered, smiling cheekily, making more students laugh.
This sounds weird.
Yeah.
Who the fuck talks like that to their fucking... it's like, it's like,
Mr. Crook squinted, clearing his throat. "Okay, enough of that," he said, calling for attention. "Bolton, eyes on me, please." Troy nodded seriously, pursing his lips. "As I was saying," Mr. Crooks continued, "despite all appearances, now you have all the time in the world, so please use it wisely." As the teacher droned on, Troy couldn't help glancing back at the desk beside the window, finding the girl sitting at it now looking at him curiously, with a small smile curving her lips. However, as soon as she realized that she was caught staring, she quickly looked down at her notebook, a shock of curls shielding her blushing cheeks. Troy grinned to himself, finally turning his whole attention to the teacher. After a few moments, the bell finally rang, signaling the end of the last class of the week. Troy grabbed his belongings from the desk, swiftly exiting the classroom and heading straight for his locker. Just as he opened the door and began sorting through his textbooks, a girl appeared beside him. "Hey, Troy!" she exclaimed brightly, making Troy jump, slamming into the door. He cringed, slightly rubbing his shoulder as he assessed the giggling girl. She had long, curly, bright red hair, mesmerizing green eyes, almost the color of sea waves, and full lips. Her smile was white and shiny, and on the whole, she was almost a fully developed woman. The girl wasn't exactly tall, but just tall enough to be an attendant of a model school. Hey, Laura. Hey,
No.
what?
What am I listening to? This is horrible.
I can't wait till they introduce his brother Ramsey.
Great guy.
Hey, where's a pack of hyenas that I can throw myself at? Or clan or whatever.
Down the
group of
block,
them is called.
take a right, and move straight ahead.
Just
Gotta
Hey,
reach out
Laura,
with the
he
girly
smiled.
room.
After taking a moment to catch his breath, though no less sincerely.
Crazy it would be
What's up?
because a hyena
I'm awesome. Thank you for asking, Laura continued in the same excited voice, looking up into his eyes prettily. I'm a little sad about tomorrow, though. She pouted, twirling a lock of her hair around her finger. Sad? Why? What's wrong? Troy frowned at her. At the corner of his eye, he saw Chad pointing at him and saying something to Zeke, shaking his head. Deciding to question his friends later, Troy looked back to his beautiful classmate. It's just, everyone else has got plans, and I'm like the only one staying at home like a sad loser. Looser, not loser.
What? What's a looser?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Well,
And I mean,
all
after
four
Chris
of them.
dumped me, it's like everybody else are ashamed to even look at me. Like I'm no longer interesting or something. She blew angrily, rolling her eyes. Biting her lip, she again looked up
She's
into
like a
his
fucking
blue
Pokemon,
eyes.
She just used self-destruct. Just like blew up.
I mean, I don't even know any guy who would like to take me out. She stopped, staring at him hopefully. Troy instantly felt bad. Bad because, as ridiculous as that sounds, being the captain of the basketball team, he felt somewhat responsible of his teammates. And the fact that one of them dumped his girlfriend quite nastily didn't make him happy at all. Bad because he sympathized with Laura. Bad because he felt like he knew what he had to do, and the prospect wasn't that pleasing. Well, we can always spend time together. Troy was cut off by ear-deafening squeal and a pair of arms going around his neck. Oh my god, I can't believe you like me back. I'm so happy. She jumped up and down, smiling from ear to ear, making Troy chuckle nervously. What time will you pick me up? Where will we go? Oh, please don't keep it a secret. I have to plan what to wear. She chattered away, touching Troy's shirt as if in order not to let him escape. At least, that's how Troy felt. He swallowed, still trying to smile at the girl attached to his torso, as he turned to look again at his friends. Catching Chad's half-sympathetic, half-disgruntled look, Troy could only shrug sheepishly. Lucille Bolton looked up from grocery bag at the sound of somebody entering the house. After hearing the sound of her son's voice announcing that he is home, she nodded to herself, continuing to put groceries away. Hey, Mama.
Whoa, mama.
Troy greeted. He calls his mom Mama, and he's in the upper years of high school. Troy greeted, kissing her cheek. Noticing a pack of chips lying on the counter, he made a motion to grab it, only to be slapped away. How was your day? Don't waste your appetite. I only got those chips so you and Dad could eat them while watching your basketball game. Got it, Mame. Brat, Lucille said with affection, shaking her head. My day was fine. No new projects, so I was finally able to shop a little, pick up those new additions Amelia talked about. You know, I told you about it yesterday. She waved her hand in the air. Troy nodded in response, scanning the fridge for some snacks to waste his appetite on, as if there was something to waste. How was your day? How was school? Good, good. Not a lot of homework for the weekend, which is always good news. He smiled at his mother over his shoulder. I think guys from the team might come over later to shoot some hoops. And tomorrow morning, maybe. He paused. And Sunday. Lucille sighed, putting newly purchased spices in its place. I think your father is putting too much pressure on you, she stated. Troy nodded again, but then looked at her in confusion. What do you mean? It's just, you are an 18-year-old. You've got to have more interesting and inspiring things to do over the weekend besides basketball. Well, you know what Dad says. Scholarship's important. That's exactly what I mean, she exclaimed. Of course college is important, but you shouldn't overlook other experiences while you're young. As far as I remember, when I was 17 and in high school, girls always talked about guys, dances, dates. So it's mandatory to date while you're 18, Troy joked, leaning on the counter, giving up on finding something to munch on. No, honey, of course not. It's just... She hesitated, studying her son's smiling face. I just hope your father is not unintentionally stopping you from something beautiful.
What a boring high school life I had. I just want to say this entire story is 9,000 words, and this first chapter already seems to be dragging on a bit.
Right?
So,
And how many chapters have we gone through?
Thanos Holt on YouTube says, "What the hell is this? What fandom is this? High School Musical? Yes, it is High School Musical."
And the genre is torture.
No, the genre is romance, actually.
No, the genre is torture porn.
This is such a good story.
I mean, clearly better than anything any of us could write.
It's good compared to My Immortal.
That's not a high bar.
Bar is pretty much
That bar is on the ground.
yeah. 4-time amputee could clear that.
Don't worry, Mom, Troy reassured. In fact, I have a date tomorrow. Oh, you do? Lucille smiled, surprised. Hearing a non-committal in response, she asked impatiently, Well, who with? Is she pretty? Her name is Laura, and as far as I remember, she is a frequent participant of all kinds of beauty pageants, so yeah, she is quite good-looking, he explained, glancing at his phone to check the time. Hey, I'll go practice for some time. Will we have something before dinner? He checked, hopefully. Lucille sighed, rolling her eyes. Yes, Troy, I'll make you some sandwiches. Thanks, you're the best. Yeah. The ball bounced from Chad's fingers, sailing through the hoop perfectly without hitting the rim. Woo! Chad clapped, boasting before Troy. Now that's how it should be done.
why can't this person use quotation marks?
I don't know.
I didn't say stop, Myth.
I needed to get a drink.
Yeah, I have a drink. What kind of drink are you drinking?
Mountain Dew.
You gonna play Call of
You
Duty?
got rusty teeth, right?
Water.
Isn't like Mountain Dew a straight up acid? It's like you dip a spoon in it and the spoon melts.
No.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
documentaries
battery
of
acid.
teeth.
Causes a disease too. Makes you play Call of Duty all the time.
I can honestly say I've never played Call of Duty, so.
You said duty.
So did you.
You're right.
You said it more than me.
Yes.
Troy shook his head at his friend, wiping dripping sweat from his brow. Whatever, man. It's one win against how many? One? Exactly, meaning you just barely keep up. Jerk. Chad bumped him in the shoulder, chuckling under his breath. So what was that about earlier? You going out with Camellia now? But I thought her name was Laura.
Typical man forgetting the woman's name.
Troy rolled his eyes at this. It was kind of common knowledge that Laura, while being a strikingly beautiful girl, didn't exactly have same achievements in the brain, and some even say soul department. So Jason surprisingly came up with an idea that she was like a camellia. As beautiful as a flower camellia is, it doesn't have its beautiful scent, no scent at all, thus giving no other pleasure than the pleasure of looking. After being stared at for about 5 whole minutes in deafening silence, Jason admitted that he often helps out his mother in her flower shop. Since then, the nickname just stuck. Okay, Camellia's a nickname. It's a rather mean nickname looking at that explanation.
It's pretty impressive the way you managed to read out the mistakes like that. Like, I'd just accidentally correct them if it was me.
Thanos Holt on YouTube says, "Keep going. You don't get to just leave. I want to know how his date goes. It's been hyped up quite a bit."
Yeah, dude, that we've been waiting for. God, it feels like we've been reading this chapter for an hour. We're not even
Right?
done yet. It's like it's somehow like more tedious than King of Magic, because at least King of Magic was fun reading.
Oh God. Flashbacks. My PTSD is triggered.
Probably say his name. You'll forget it. Don't do it.
You know that's not her name, man, Troy sighed, plopping down on the steps, reaching for the gym bag to grab a towel. That doesn't answer my question, Chad insisted, seating beside him. Why are you taking her out? Why not? She is hot. I have free time. She has free time. What harm will it do to spend some time together? Troy questioned defensively. Chad raised his hands and eyebrows simultaneously. Chill, man. I was just wondering. To me, it didn't look like you were ever interested in her. Just don't let yourself be roped into something you don't want to do just because somebody has good manipulative techniques. I'm fine, Chad. I know what I'm doing, Troy said, looking down at the towel in his hands. After a moment, he raised his cerulean eyes at his friends, half smiling. Come on, I'll show some defensive strategies, because you seriously suck at that. I just love this place. Seriously, it has like the best fruit salad in the world. Because, you know, that place around the corner only serves food that can only be okay for like facials. How lame is that? Troy smiled tightly at the line, hearing it for about the 5th time this evening. He always liked going to the Lemon Tree, but now he was afraid. The place was being slowly contaminated by new memories. He stealthily checked his watch, mentally going through his remaining homework and making sure to remember to discuss with his dad and teammates the upcoming championship game against West High. Zoning out Laura's ramblings, he found himself glancing at the barista, who also happened to be his classmate. The girl adjusted a lock of hair that fell out of her ponytail, returning to the task of wiping a coffee machine. After checking the steamer, she placed the wiping cloth back into a counter. As if feeling somebody's gaze upon her, she looked up and locked her chocolate brown eyes onto his blue ones. Troy felt some weird tickling feeling inside his stomach and blinked in confusion. Shooting her a small grin in recognition, and after receiving a hesitant and slightly shy nod, he tried to focus back on his date. And that bitch just literally tried spit in my bottle of hairspray. Can you believe that? Laura widened her eyes to the ceiling dramatically, waiting for Troy's, no doubt, astonished reaction. After a pause, she looked back at him expectantly. Troy, finally realizing his cue, morphed his expression quickly into what he hoped looked like indignant disbelief, shaking his head in support to her speech. No way, he said weakly. That seemed to be enough, because Laura smiled in satisfaction. I know! Of course, I immediately told the committee about this completely awful violation of rules. That bitch is just too lucky to have received only a warning, and not to be banned immediately. If only... Troy tuned out Laura's rambling again, sighing under his breath at his predicament. Maybe, just maybe, Chad was right about Laura being a good manipulator. Huh?
I said, how are we not done with the first chapter yet?
I don't know.
Wait, this is still the first.
This
chapter?
is still the first chapter.
It feels like they should be, because holy fuck,
Holy
it's so boring.
You're not wrong.
Wait, what? I thought we were. What?
We are almost done with the first chapter.
What happened to reading that Heiress remix thing?
Oh, we're going to. I just
That's
had to
next.
complete a challenge first. Nonetheless, the evening proceeded, and after an unfortunate dinner, there was almost equally pleasant ride back to Laura's house. Being the gentleman everyone expected him to be, Troy walked Laura to her front door, secretly practicing a speech inside his head, going along the lines of, "This was fun, let's not do this again." Pausing at her doorstep, Laura turned around to face Troy, flashing him a flirty smile. "I can't believe we had so much fun tonight. It's like I've never been this happy before," she gushed, stepping closer. Troy swallowed anxiously.
What a basic bitch.
"Laura, I'm really glad that you had fun tonight. The thing is, He stumbled, stopping when he felt Laura stepping even closer. "I know, Troy. Me too," she said softly. Before Troy could even comprehend what she meant, Laura grabbed him by the lapels of his jacket, pressing her lips to his in a needy kiss. Troy widened his eyes, his hands going to Laura's sides in surprise. Reading this as Troy's agreement to the kiss, Laura deepened it, slipping her tongue inside his mouth with a moan. Coming to his senses, Troy finally detached himself from Laura. Aren't your parents waiting for you inside?" he managed to utter, awkwardly shoving his hands into the pockets of his jeans. Laura fluttered her heavily but professionally done eyelashes at him. "So thoughtful, and such a good kisser." She bit her lip, smiling, her hands going around his waist under the jacket. Considering that Troy's own hands were inside his pockets at the moment, position seemed beyond uncomfortable. For Troy. "I can't believe I managed to get, the hottest guy at East High." She sighed dreamily, placing her cheek at Troy's chest. "Cheerleaders will be so jealous when we'll walk hand in hand Monday morning." Troy felt a sick feeling going up from his stomach. He had to stop this before it was too late, if it wasn't already. He squeezed his eyes tightly, summoning up the courage to tell her that dating her wasn't in his plans. Just as he was about to release a breath and open his eyes, he felt a hand on his cheek. "You don't have to be nervous, Troy," she said, smiling softly. "I know what you want. You don't have to say it out loud." Troy looked into her green eyes, searching for understanding. "I don't?" "No," she bit her lip again, barely holding in her excitement. "It goes without questioning. Of course I'll be your girlfriend, boo." She squealed, no longer able to conceal her emotions. Troy barked out a laugh in astonishment, the situation finally sinking in. He was screwed. A.N. I was planning a cute short one-shot that kind of turned into a small, pointless story.
God, we're
It's rather small, and I plan to update it on every second day. I might also be updating my other story soon, but that thought keeps holding on to me for the past 3 years, so I hope that somebody might enjoy this one somewhat, and please, review, smiley face. Oh god, thank God.
Okay, we still have 5 more chapters left.
Oh no,
What?
I was only planning to read 1 chapter of this.
But there's only
Thank you,
4 more
Lord.
chapters left.
We'll continue it at the start of the next stream. We've got
Hold on,
it.
Stalker.
we
gotta
are-
get back on the zone.
We're already 30 minutes in, and we haven't even started the actual fic the stream is for. And now we segue into Uchiha Heiress remakes by JG Resident Evil.
Cool.
Oh, fuck.
They say that
That's
you
why
can't
we've done
expect
this.
everything. So what would happen when a crazy secret is revealed? You just have to wait and see. Pairings: Naruto x Hinata x Fim Sasuke, Neji x Tintin, Lee x Kin. More pairings coming along.
Before we get into
Sakura
this,
and
though, can we
civilian
have the
council
backstory
bashing.
as to how you discovered this fic and who recommended it to be read?
So I literally Googled worst fan fictions, and I was sent to a Reddit thread where this was one of the options.
Let me see. Worst fan.
Click on the cover. Click on the cover for me.
I specifically Googled worst Naruto fan fictions because I wanted a Naruto option.
Look at that.
Oh shit! Naruto has Kubukiri Buto. Sakura has.
Wait, say
Curse
that
Mark,
again.
Kubukiri Buto, or however the fucking sword is pronounced.
No, say it again. I think it's funny when you say
Fuck
it.
you, you son of a whore.
Why the fuck does Sakura have green hair and
she's
curse marks?
That is a damn good point.
I think that's Sasuke with the QB inside her.
The f-
I actually read this.
What do you
I'm
mean
so-
inside her?
Is this art? Like seriously, what is Naruto wearing?
Look,
It looks like they photoshopped a mirror image of Shiro from fucking Fate. It really does.
are you surprised?
Yes. For one thing, the quality of the art itself is much higher than the standard fanfic art quality.
Sakura and civilian council bashing. Don't read.
Oh
It's-
fuck, I hate it. Like when someone says "don't like, don't read," I immediately know the fic is shit. So you said you found a Reddit thread.
Yeah. I Googled worst Naruto fan fictions.
Okay. Worst Naruto fanfictions because I did
Yeah.
just find an Ask Reddit thread. Found it. What's the worst Naruto? Okay, so let me read this thread.
Yeah. Rated M, tagged as adventure romance. 1.3, almost 1.4 million words long. Dear God, that's long.
How many chapters?
Like with Cisco.
65
You are planning
chapters.
to read- You're not planning to read the whole thing, surely.
Definitely not in one sitting.
Holy shit! I'm reading this guy's review of it on Reddit, and that's amazing. Alright, let me read this. So,
Give me the link so that I can see.
oh
right
fuck,
Yeah,
it's
like,
Jimbra who said this.
Hey,
Dude, it's Jimbra who left this review on Reddit.
post
Who?
the
You did
Reddit
not.
link in Discord, and I will read the review.
They write like a shit ton of fanfics.
Are they good?
They're good, yeah.
Some of them are good, some of them aren't that good. But yeah, I definitely have read some of their fics. Like
Did you-
their
The gamer one.
yeah, the My Hero Academia gamer. He also did the one where it's My Hero Academia, but Izuku has a quirk that lets him get power from tattoos, and he ends up going to the Yakuza because he's not legally allowed to have a tattoo, so he fails the entrance exam. And there's a few other things, but yeah, like I actually do like some of their fic.
Where's
There was one where they
the
did it
review
at-
by what's his face for Uchiha Heiress? Is it like down at the bottom?
All right, so let me read the review that Jimbra left. I'm
Well,
gonna go
I
with
was
Uchiha
planning to read
Heiress-
it.
Can I read it, Myth? You can read the fic itself.
No.
Remix. Now, I know what you're saying, but Yoji, it has a lot of followers and reviews. Are you sure you're not just jealous? That's like asking me if I'm jealous of the bird shit that lands on a hot girl's shoulders. The reason why I consider this fic to be so bad is that it's basically just retelling canon. Even if it claims things change, canon is still the same. Naruto still fails, they still go to Wave, they still fight Orochimaru. The only interesting thing is that Sakura gets the curse seal. But that's just a clever way for the author to bash her. The only major change is that Sasuke doesn't go join Orochimaru because she's too busy sucking Naruto's dick. Oh wait, she's too young for that, so they're waiting. No, really, that line gets mentioned at least once a chapter. But really, my major problem with the story can be broken into two major points: characterization and pace. Characterization is hard, but Uchiha Heiress Remix takes it back, and shoots Sasuke and Hinata as they decide to start acting more like Naruto, even choosing to have variations of his verbal tick. Hinata's shyness isn't an issue, and she's banging Naruto in chapter 4 or something right after Sasuke had her turn. Pacing is actually shit. It's over 1 million words long and has gotten to basically Tsunade being the Hokage, and none of it is important. It's words for the sake of wasting time.
As someone who actually did read this fic years ago, I agree. Completely.
I pity your soul.
You enjoyed reading it, didn't you?
At the time I did. It was a weird phase of my life.
We may judge you for that based on how bad this is.
Oh, there's no may about
And
it. I fucking
guess
judge
what?
you harshly.
It was updated 2 months and 1 week ago. So it is still going.
Probably still at the same arc.
Probably.
Chapter 1.
On.
Who is the true last Uchiha?
Oh my fucking gosh.
In many parallel worlds, there are multiple events that may occur. They may have many similarities, but at the same time completely different altogether. And one must ask themselves, what different changes could occur? What could be different from one another? What can really happen in one world? Could it really happen in another? All that can be said is this: life has its own sets of twists and turns that can lead into any direction. As such, this specific world has its own twists and turns that begin after a beginning revelation. In a deserted open field training ground, 3 long wooden stakes towered over the never-ending fields of the training grounds, nearly touching the sky. It was the hottest part of the day. The sun's heat was scorching for any poor soul who dared venture out at this time. These grounds were almost empty, except for the presence of one eccentric blonde-haired boy who donned whisker-like birthmarks on each of his cheeks, which could have almost been considered cute for most girls, and his trademark orange tracksuit. Most considered the boy an eyesore, but Naruto Uzumaki thought otherwise. Shadow Clone Jutsu! Naruto roared out his signature jutsu, his fingers quickly intertwining and forming the necessary hand seal. Instantaneously on command, no less than 200 clones popped into existence, spreading across the entirety of the vast field. They were in front of him, behind him, in the trees, and some were even half soaked as they were standing at a nearby stream. The real Naruto stood in the center of the training ground, as he wasn't even bothered being surrounded by an entire army of clones that had the same mischievous grins as the original one. One of the clones, who was crouching in a tree branch, "Are you ready?" he yelled out to his legion of clone brethren.
Aye, Captain.
As he raised his fist with much eagerness.
Aye, aye, Captain.
In response to the question...
In a village, hidden in leaves.
Naruto.
In response to the question, the other clones simultaneously cheered out, such as loudly with equal excitement, "Yeah!" They shouted in return as all of them charged at the original, some running towards him, some beginning to throw shurikens, while others jumped down from the sky wielding kunai. The real Naruto charged forward at a fast phase to dodge the rain of shurikens. Then he took out some shurikens of his own from his pouch as he was ready to take on his own army of clones. He then tossed 3 shuriken from each hand at the clones in front of him. The clones easily deflected them in response as they continued to charge at the real Naruto. "You're gonna have to do better than that, boss," the nearest clone declared as he rushed in with 100 clones behind him. Each had a kunai in their hands. The real Naruto such smirked at them, not feeling cornered at all. Don't think I'll make it easy for you, Tetabayo. I have no idea if that's how you pronounce that or not, but...
Datebayo.
Datebayo? Okay.
Weeb.
He shouted as he continued his charge. When he got a few feet to the closest clone, he delivered a few swift kicks towards their stomachs, making a few poof out of existence. Then he sent out a barrage of chakra-enhanced punches. This made more to also go poof as well. Then he backpedaled when he saw mini-clones falling right on top of him. When he got far enough, he stood in his brawler stance. Time to try something new. Wind style, air bullet. He declared
so
he declared as he went through what?
He's like he does the Japanese shit, like where he has the verbal tick, but then afterwards when he's declaring techniques, he doesn't actually
He
use
says
the
them in
Japanese
English.
words. Like
using
pick one or the other, you know what I mean?
Using the Japanese tick instead of believe it, but using the English jutsu names.
Yeah. Maybe I'm being weird about it.
Oh no, I understand. Pick one and stick with it. Don't flip flop.
Swear if they say "Kami, damn it" or some shit, I'm gonna leave.
Or add the honorifics to all of to everyone's names.
Me when they do like Kushinafics and then they have like Sachi all the time.
Yeah. Mandalore is back.
Hey man.
Welcome back.
Mandalore from the Star Wars. Welcome.
So you banned Peaches?
I kicked him. I didn't ban him.
Yeah.
He declared as he went through a set of hand signs to prepare his jutsu, before he then sucked in enough air before blasting it out of his mouth and small, condensed bullets at the clones. Many clones were destroyed upon impact from the bullets, but there were still many more left. Naruto had saw this jutsu from the scroll, since it was some of the only jutsu that he could learn. He tried it out instantly, though he failed miserably at the first time. But he liked the idea of a long-range jutsu, so over the course of the 1-week break, he practiced it and all of the new things he had learned every single day. It's all one sentence.
That depresses me.
Oh, but man, this is something you'd love. I mean, it's Uchiha, it's edgy. You know, like they're little kids fucking.
Yeah, it's very edgy, like
everything you
Kylo Ren. It's your favorite.
Is he trying to say something, or
What?
I'm just seeing his name flash on and off constantly in the chat room thing?
You?
And
Yeah, he's
Probably
probably.
fucking so angry that he's choking over his words.
Fuck you.
Oh.
Also,
I'm sorry, I'm a little
Okay.
bit above your age.
sorry, Peach, but nothing is worse than you being a furry.
Oh dear.
Okay, I think we've got to do the Peach's adaptation of the SpongeBob theme.
what?
Peach posted it in my fiction room.
Oh,
Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain. I can't hear you.
Yo, Myth, unmute everyone so they can actually respond.
Okay.
no, only mute a few of them.
Well, the people that are unmuted can respond. I'm not unmuting anyone else.
All right.
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain.
I can't hear you.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Oh, who lives in a village hidden in leaves?
Naruto's
No Uzumaki.
Hyperactive and orange and retarded is he.
Naruto Uzumaki.
If shinobi nonsense be something you wish,
Naruto Uzumaki.
then Shinshin through the window with a swish.
Naruto Uzumaki.
Ready? Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto Uzumaki.
shut up for a second. It took me so fucking long to figure out how to do that last sentence. It was like, what the hell can I replace flop like a fish with?
Why not just call him Naruto Orange Pants?
Fuck! Damn it!
Well, technically, it's all just a jumpsuit.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Oh, fuck. Should I do the fucking
although I
one?
guess Naruto jumpsuit doesn't quite roll off the tongue as well.
Jumpsuit square pants. Jumpsuit orange pants.
Hell yeah, that's better.
Doesn't even get a name. He's just a jumpsuit.
Alright, I'm
Jumpsuit
gonna
is the
see if,
character.
while you read, I'm gonna go see if I can do anything with the One Piece crap. Oh wait, this is far too long.
One Piece crap? What?
The One Piece rap. It's like yayo yayo.
Okay.
Oh god.
Gotta go.
Nar-
Don't fuck it up, Luffy.
Naruto had at first had only wasted chakra and gained a massive sore throat as a result. But he never gave up, and only on the 5th day he managed to gain a very small version of the air bullet. But that was more than good progress from someone who didn't got any training on an elemental jutsu. That was when Naruto learned that apparently he had a possible affinity for wind chakra nature, as it would have taken months to get where he was now.
How do you figure that out?
I don't know.
You don't ask, monkey.
Look, there's a
You
reason in the worst fictions category.
Yeah, that's fair.
What? The clones yelled out as the original Naruto then began to shot more of them with multiple blasts of air. The clones tried to evade the attack, but Naruto had managed to take down at least 30 clones. But there was still half an army to
That
get
he
through.
knows it, or are they surprised that he used it on them?
Unclear.
I was just about to say, aren't they all the same person?
Yeah, wouldn't they know it too?
Unclear. I'm channeling my
Himself?
pitch meetings, my inner pitch meetings into these answers, by the way.
Fuck. I'm sorry. I just asked her.
Asked who?
I'm sorry. I had a fucking stroke of genius here. So for something I'm doing right now.
Is it
What's even worse is that the clones are preparing for an attack. All the remaining clones then went through the same hand signs the original and called out the jutsu's name. Wind style, air bullet! They all declared in unison as they also sucked in them air before firing as they all hit the original. Though many disappeared from the strains of using the jutsu, it was well worth it at the sight of many air bullets hitting the area where the original was located. Alright, we got him! One of the remaining clones cheered as the other remaining clones smirked at the thought of beating the original as they looked at the cloud of dust that was created.
Yes, they killed him. Hooray.
Or at least, that's what his clones thought. When the dust finally cleared, all they managed to saw was a destroyed log and some small craters in the ground. All of the clones looked at the area with confusion until one figured out what happened. Substitution! One of the clones yelled out angrily while he and the rest were still shocked by this, that they didn't notice there was a shadow right behind the clone that revealed the jutsu, ready to take him and many clones out. That's right, pal, the original declared. The clone only had enough time to widen his eyes before Naruto reduced him to smoke as a kunai was shoved right behind his head. When the still stunned clones turned around, the original quickly made the same hand seals. Wind style, air bullet, Naruto once again declared as he sent out 5 blasts of air. But the attacks were only able to take out 3 clones, with only 2 clones able to dodge Naruto's attack by dodging to the sides. The original didn't let this chance go to waste as he charged forward. Crap! The clones all swore out after being defeated with the strong punches to the gut. Just a few more clones left, the real Naruto said. Though he was panting from exhaustion, he still had a smirk got on his face. The clones were also panting as their chakra started to deplete rapidly as they were ready to disperse at any second now. Then one of the clones suddenly got a bolt of a clever yet very stupid idea. Well, one thing left to do, he said as he smirked with a very mischievous expression on his face. The remaining clones turned to look at the clone who said that. What? The remaining clone asked in what? The remaining clone asked in unison. Yeah, I read that.
What'd you read?
One clone asked in unison. Okay.
Look, he's powerful enough to be multiple people at once, even though he didn't use a technique for it. He doesn't need to anymore.
You're right. I'm sorry for questioning it. As if waiting for the clones to ask, the clone just smirked with a fox-like grin in response. Time go out with a bang, the clone answered. Another clone raised an eyebrow to that, but then they all smirked, realizing what their fellow clone meant. Exploding clones, huh? The clone figured as he and the rest were now smirking the same way at the other one. Now this really is going to be a blast, another clone said as he cracked his knuckles. Then the remaining clones turned toward the original and began to gather all of their remaining chakra, condense it all into one point. Exploding Shadow Clone Jutsu! They all then declared as they rushed at the real Naruto. Like with the Shadow Clones, the exploding variation of the Jutsu was also inside of the Forbidden Scroll. He found it right under the original Shadow Clone Jutsu. And as the original, it needs even more chakra as well as having a good affinity with the creations of clones, so that they themselves can execute such a jutsu. Regardless of the warnings, he already knew he had to learn it, and since it was also chakra-based, Naruto only had to practice it for a few days. But ironically, he managed to learn it was thanks to his lack of chakra control, as he always gave them much more chakra than needed. But thanks to that, the clones were able to use this more powerful variation of the jutsu. More comments from Thanos Holt. Expecting any internal logic to this seems like a stretch. Every time he creates a clone, do they receive half of his chakra and half of his IQ? Alright, I'm gonna go relax from this by banging my head against a wall and cuddling with my dogs. Thanks for the content.
Enjoy cuddling with your dogs, person.
I don't know. It's kind of stupid when writers like to use the shadow clones to have them attack the main one. Like, what if they seriously injure him or kill him by accident? Like,
I think that canonically
Like-
happened though.
what do you mean? The clones killing the original?
No, attacking the original. I'm pretty sure he gets into fights with him at least a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean,
It was
they
like the
fight each
Bell
other like when they're doing stuff,
episode.
but not like in a training exercise. This is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see the point.
Fireballs and giant pillars of lightning each other in training exercises. What's the difference between doing it with clones?
Because they're actively trying to kill the main one.
To be fair, it is Naruto.
Yes, I have killed the original. Now I am the Naruto Uzumaki.
To be fair, it is Naruto. He
It
would
is dumb.
he would be dumb enough to actually risk his own life in this. A more
Combine the exploding clone jutsu with the shadow clone shuriken jutsu.
Don't ask
Imagine a
good
whole
questions
wave
like
of
that.
exploding shurikens.
like if it was a more intelligent Naruto, he would definitely just hang back and let the clones attack each other.
To get the experience while he
Yeah.
just watches.
Exactly.
Just eat a sandwich while it's happening.
Yeah, just chill, take a nap. I don't know.
Maybe fuck Hinata while he's at it.
Wouldn't that be hard to sleep though if you're just constantly getting images of clones killing each other?
I mean,
Or whatever.
Take sedatives.
obviously not, considering he never once noticed it until Kakashi pointed it out in Shippuden.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, true.
So
I feel like afterwards it would make sleep really hard if you just have clone legions going.
I think he has such brain damage that he doesn't actually notice anything.
ah crap!
He
Naruto
basically-
got out.
He's like vegetating in a hospital, drooling on himself. There's like shit. Yeah. Danzo's like fiercely trying to find a new Uzumaki so they can shift the Nine Tails.
Yep.
Ah, crap! Naruto got out, paling as he watched the clones come into him all at once.
Ooh, he's a little tiny horny honey.
Phrasing.
No, wait, keep going.
Each ready to explode.
What a great top tier story.
That's great. That one line makes it worth it.
Suicide bombers, we're not the villain hidden in sand.
No,
Oh.
stop it.
Suicide bombers? Are you serious, Databayo? He yelled out at them while preparing himself for the onslaught. Hey, don't blame us. You're the one who learned the jutsu, Databayo. The clones replied in unison.
So many times. It feels like you say it way too many times.
I mean, the writer's telling you that this is Naruto, okay?
Yeah.
Definitive edition.
It's Naruto Anniversary Edition. It's $20 and you don't get shit. It's just trash.
Smurf, we are reading the Naruto fanfic Uchiha Heiress remix.
Rockstar made this.
No, Bethesda made this. It just works.
Oh, God.
You can tell because it's like 1 billion words. So it's actually wait, no. Both GTA 5 and Skyrim have been milked for all they're worth.
Naruto face faulted at that response, but he knew they did have a point. They were his clones after all. The clones would do something only if the original one would do as well. Naruto didn't have time to think about this too much though, as the clones charged in, all ready to self-destruct. Naruto continued to pant from exhaustion. He was almost out of chakra. Alright, I think it's time to use it. He then decided as closed his eyes, yelling inside his mind. Alright, Fox, I'm gonna need a bit of help here, he asked the being inside of him. Suddenly, red chakra poured out of Naruto's body, making it look like he was on fire.
Alright, what the fuck? Since when was this happen?
Since right now.
Oh, Smurf, you read. Can we unmute Raging Smurf because it sounds like he's actually read this fic.
Sure.
We need his input.
You are
Smurf.
unmuted, Smurf.
I heard this inspired you to write Invictus.
I read probably the first 60,000 words, and it just progressively got worse and worse. I'm just like,
We are only on chapter 1.
oh God, I'm not listening in. Not listening in. Okay, man, you will enjoy the looting of 13 and 14-year-olds. Put it that
Oh,
way.
God.
You're not ever getting that sword back.
But oh my God, at what point did I stop reading it? I should have stopped reading it earlier. I stopped reading it at around the Forest of Death portion. Yeah.
Okay.
It could have been so good. The story could have been good. But then chapter 4 or whatever happened, and then it's...
Don't spoil it for us.
Don't spoil it.
Amanda will like it. I'll just... I couldn't get through it if you gave me 100 lifetimes. It just... shit.
Judging by from where Yojimbra said that he was up to, does that mean that you read like 1 million of the words?
What? No, I've read probably 70 or 80,000. Thinking about it, but
did you enjoy your
he
time?
used it. I had nothing else to read, but it's like saying that I had nothing else to do, so I drunk bleach. I shouldn't have. But yeah, have you gotten to the part where it's the overuse of tatabayo constantly?
He's already used it 3 times, and we have barely started the first chapter.
Oh, lovely.
A moment passed as the clones were getting closer until... Reckless little idiot, the QB simply responded in an annoyed tone at what his container reckless decision. Okay, so we've got Japanese names for the name for the Nine Tails, English name for jutsus, Japanese verbal tick.
Believe it, motherfuckers.
At least he's not saying kit.
What? Yeah.
Oh god.
Not yet.
what order?
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, don't
Welcome.
don't count your chickens before they hatch.
I'm
Don't
gonna
count your
count my
chickens.
chickens. Can't tell me what to do. I'm an independent black woman.
When Naruto learned about the Kyuubi no Kitsune demon sealed inside him, he figured that the demon fox would try to want and break out by any means. But what he didn't know exactly how to contact the demon. However, his luck clearly decided to work for him at the time, though he sometimes questioned if it really was good or rotten luck after he got to meet said Kitsune and how he really was. Let's just say, it wasn't what he expected.
Let me guess.
Flashback no jutsu!
Oh no, no!
Oh no.
God damn it! You piece of
Oh, yes,
shit
the
story.
flashback
I
to
just
Jutsu.
gotta. I feel like wringing someone's neck now.
Oh god. We're doing the
It was
flashback.
late at night after Naruto defeated Mizuki and became an official shinobi for Konoha. All of it being made official thanks to the third Hokage for successfully using the Shadow Clone Jutsu. At the same time, the Hokage told the blonde boy most of the details about the Kyuubi, and the dangers of it along with apologizing to him about never telling him. Though Naruto did felt mad for not been told
Did
why...
feel mad.
Naruto did felt mad for not being told why he was treated like that all those years by the civilians, other shinobis, and with the exception of Iruka, the rest of his teachers. He still had the heart to forgive his grandfather-like figure with his normal grin. Naruto had soon returned to his crummy apartment later that day as he looked at the ceiling. Damn, Tadabayo. He got out in annoyance. I got the Kyuubi that the fourth Hokage fought sealed inside of me. He reminded himself as small traces of resentment were inside of his heart. Now he may still respects and sees him he idol, but he still hated that he had to bear such a burden. Then, after he took a long bath, he was now finally dressed up in his night clothes, along with his silly animal hat. He was really tired and exhausted after everything that has happened, as a yawn escaped his mouth. Geez, I'm really sleepy, Tadabayo. Oh god, this is getting annoying already.
Are you ready for way more chapters of that showing up?
He got out as he looked at his clock and saw it was really late. Midnight. He got out before smirking. Alright, I better get some sleep. Then I gotta start my training. He soon decided in excitement as he then jumped towards the bed and landed with a plop on it. Then his eyes were slowly starting to close as he was entering the realm of dreams. Finally, they closed and his consciousness finally left. Drip. Drip.
Naruto's got that drip. Rocking them super
No.
After sleeping for what seemed to be half an hour, Naruto could soon hear the sounds of dripping water, which caused his eyes to slowly begin to open. What the hell, Tadabayo? He grumbled out as he was still half asleep. Then, when he finally opened them,
I beat you, Noah.
Then, when he finally opened them, he didn't saw the roof of his crappy apartment building. Instead, he was very thick concrete one. What? Naruto got out as he turned his head and finally felt that was floating on a layer of water. Okay. Either this is a dream or someone threw me in a sewer. Again. Damn.
Love Naruto exists. I thought it might exist after seeing Adidas Naruto, but it does.
What is it?
Dita?
Slav Naruto. You know this the fucking Slav squad? Just like in the fucking Discord.
Basically, they wear tracksuits and squat and also drink.
Vodka, and they're all like Eastern European, like
Specifically
countries.
Adidas brand. Specifically Adidas.
He then remarked with much confusion and a groan at thought of yet again having to burn his clothing. But when Naruto stood up, he got a good look around and saw that this sewer was completely different than any he had ever seen or been before, as it had thick pipes that were puke yellow, while another was a thicker pale red. They had this
Wait.
strange feel to it, along with seeing multiple corridors with the pipes going in and out. Okay, then where the hell am I, Databayo? God damn it.
Not a bio again.
Yeah!
Holy shit.
That shows up a lot in pretty much every chapter. Buckle up.
"20 times in this one chapter."
Beautiful. I love it.
Alright, continue, Myth.
Yeah, I was finding where I was after.
Yeah, he was trying to find the drip part.
Yeah,
There we go.
there I am.
What
He
the
asked
fucking
himself as he
dog
continued to walk through the sewer. This definitely ain't the usual sewers, he added. But before he could do anything else, Naruto then began to hear heavy breathing echo throughout the concrete sewer walls, along with deep-toned chuckling from the deepest parts of this strange place. Finally!
Wait, do it in a southern accent.
Fucking hell! You told me not to click it, Noah, and I still fucking clicked it.
Why did I click it?
Fucking
Oh my god!
Fucking die. Fucking die.
I see a lot of skin colored blurred and yellow, so I'm guessing Naruto is doing something with someone.
It's the fairy tale dragon
Keep that
Slayer
shit out of
edit.
my channel.
It's the fairy tale dragon slayer edit.
Myth, you gotta read this in a southern accent.
No, I will have you know that as an admin, I have it Discord set up to automatically unspoiler everything. So fuck you.
Get fucked, Myth. That's
Anybody needs a southern accent, I can easily do. I would be much obliged if I had to.
dude. Just speaking your normal who's your ass accent, it sounds southern enough for
My great
other
great
people.
grandpappy fought in the War of Northern Aggression, and we damn Yankee bastards.
Northern aggression?
Yeah,
That's
no,
what
that's
some people call it. I shit you not.
Yeah,
Deep
that
South,
that is
they call it the war-
that is something that it's called around here.
Oh, around here, Myth?
Yeah.
Here's my sucker.
Round here.
You'll say,
Finally!
There's a
I've been
dis-
waiting for 12 years to finally meet you. A deep, menacing voice then growled out from the same direction as the breathing and chuckling.
Dude, this is
My
great.
trucker hat.
Somebody needs to Photoshop a picture of Kurama with a freaking Confederate ball cap on as he's squatting by the cage.
Noah said on it. This made Naruto stop dead on his tracks upon hearing this voice, as he also felt a very ominous aura as well. What the hell? Naruto responded with a gulp as then began to feel some killing intent. That must be... He got out as he had a very good idea what or who it was as he began to walk towards the killing intent once more, but still with the sense of dread filling his soul.
Yes, let me walk towards
The closer Naruto got, the more he could hear the deep chuckling from the source of the killing intent. Well, little boy, seems that you indeed have some brains in that empty head of yours. The menacing voice then stated. To that comment, Naruto gained a tick mark as he soon heard that little remark about his intelligence, but continued to move forward. Soon enough, he arrived at the source. There was a very large room, which had a massive gate with huge and thick bars. Naruto could only stare at the gate with a baffled expression on his face. Whoa. Naruto got out in both amazement and slight fear, as he had to admit that this gate was ridiculously big. If he had to make a rough estimate, it would probably be twice as big as the village's gates. The fourth really knew how to make a seal, Databayo. He thought to himself as he was really impressed of the late Hokage's incredible skill in seals. But there was one thing that he really wanted to know. But how the hell does this fit inside of me?
I mean, it's a somewhat fair question.
He then asked himself as he tilted his head with a confused expression. And as if reading Naruto's thoughts, the most powerful of all the Baijus chuckled with an evil tone. This is a mindscape. Nothing's impossible in here. Even if it is inside an idiot meat sack like you.
It's great.
It stated with a demeaning tone. This caused Naruto to gain an even larger angry vein on his forehead when he heard yet another remark on his intelligence. Oh, shut it! It's thanks to you that I barely got an education in the first place, since every single teacher I ever had, with the sole exception of Iruka Sensei, ever taught me anything at all, Databayo. He remarked as he pointed at the demon fox. The Kyuubi merely scuffed to that, not even fazed by what he said. So, what do I have the pleasure of finally meeting my jailer? He then asked as he wanted to get straight to the point. Naruto, meanwhile, had finally calmed himself down as he then once more looked at the demon fox with narrow eyes. Like it or not, you're stuck in here with me, and I won't be letting you out, he stated with conviction. In response, Kyuubi narrowed his own eyes to that response, clearly not liking what the blonde had just said. I see you're already maturing, you little brat. He remarked with a strangely calm yet angry tone.
Hat with the good, no background.
Oh god. Kurama with the "Make America Great Again" hat.
No, I'm making a good one. Give me a sec.
I don't have Photoshop, so my options are severely limited.
Luckily, I know how to pirate things.
He does despise specific groups of people, mainly the Uchiha. So, I mean, yeah. See, I don't hate all people. There's only just some kinds of people he hates. The
Like
wrong
Uchiha.
sort of people. Yes, the wrong sort. The ones that are...
Is he gonna tell us about his
take the
militia?
joke further. Yeah.
Naruto, however, was able to pick up the way the strange combination of tones and couldn't help but be confused as a result. But regardless of that, he decided not to think of it too much. After what happened with that bastard Mizuki, I told myself that I had to grow up, he began. So? Kyuubi asked, not even caring what his container had to say. Basically, that means that I know that if I die, you die too, Naruto then explained. You want to live, then you gotta give me your chakra when I need it, he added while crossing his arms over his chest. What? Oh god, it's Nazi Naruto.
What even is that?
Bad.
Oh god.
I can feel my autism flaring up from just trying to fucking read what the fuck it says.
The Kyuubi soon had a furious look on its face as he grinded his large fangs. He then tried to slam his huge claws between the cage bars, but Naruto was far enough for the claw not to reach him, though it did give him a fright by the surprise attack that he fell on his behind as he looked at the very sharp claw only a few centimeters away from his head. I'll give you nothing. The only reason I ever gave the last container any of my power was that they forced me to give it to them, just like that big... It then started before stopping himself at a certain point, before growling at his current container. When Naruto heard the sudden stop from the Kyuubi's rant, he began to stand up again, as he raised an eyebrow when he noticed that he cut off at a certain part. What was that? He then thought in confusion. The Kyuubi simply decided not to say any more, and just continued to glare at Naruto. Anyway, I refuse to give any more of my chakra to an arrogant ant like you, the Kyuubi then added. This made Naruto look at the most powerful of the 9 Baijus with a startled and confused expression. After all, Naruto may have been called many things in his short life, such as demon, orphan, dead last, brat, wannabe Hokage, and a prankster.
Look at the Discord.
But no one had ever told him that he was arrogant. Sure, he tended to act a bit stubborn with some things, but he was never arrogant, as him himself never liked being compared with anything to the proud duckbutt Rookie of the Year.
Look at the Discord.
I will! Let me finish this
You have
chapter.
to look at this right now. No,
Oi!
right now.
I'm nothing like the Tame Databayo, he responded. Look at that. Glorious.
That should be your cover image for this stream.
Why didn't the Uchiha just succeed?
Because
War of Konoha aggression.
This was bad. They could have actually done that. Like, all bullshit aside, they should have just left the village and said, fuck you. Just seceded, literally. Like, unironically seceded.
Just do a fucking fic where they legally secede the village.
I mean, they're not Texas, though. Oh god, the Uchiha are the Texas of the ninja world. The Uchiha are the Texans of the ninja world.
I don't know. Do Texans marry their cousins to keep the bloodline pure?
Depends on who you ask.
I don't know. I know Kentucky. I think the Kentuckians are too stupid to know where to put it. Or at least some Kentuckians. I've met some good ones here, which I'm pretty sure they're just people who came from Indiana. But whatever.
Kyuubi just scoffed again, but only this time with disgust at his host. What do you call demanding something that's not yours? That ain't arrogant, and what is? Then demanded the answer to his question. That instantly caused Naruto to shut up, as he was now really gave some serious thought of what the most powerful Baiju had just said. That's... He started, but trailed off as he couldn't find the words to denial what the Demon Fox just said. The shadows hid the Kyuubi's smirk, and it looked at his container as he began to really think about what said. But more so that he was actually giving some thought to what he said. Something no human had ever done before. Not for a long, long time. You demand my power. You have no rebuttal when someone talks back to you in a manner like this, he stated with its own arrogance in its voice. Why do you even want my power? Just to help you out to your desperate dream of being loved and cherished and not even caring about being you took it from? Then began to ask, as his face became serious and angry as well. That's arrogance and selfishness. They'll never care for you that way. That'll only create more fear and hatred towards you even more. Then he declared with heated anger. Though the Kyuubi was insulting Naruto, said boy couldn't help but see some truth of what the Baiju was trying to tell him. If he was even honest to himself, Naruto did want to use his chakra to help him fulfill his dream, but he never thought of it that way. If you're so smart then, what do you think I should do? He then asked with a huff as he crossed his arms once more. Though, deep down, he really wanted to know what he should do, but he didn't want to give the Kyuubi the sense he was right about anything. Then he turned back towards him. But I'll never give up on my dream, he added with conviction as his eyes held undying determination, as he would never abandon his lifelong dream. The Kyuubi finally calmed down when he heard the question, as he once more chuckled to the question as it literally figured out what its container was thinking. Never said you shouldn't, brat. But to answer your question, it's really simple, that even nearly brain-dead like you could understand. he began with a mocking tone, which only made said boy to gain multiple tick marks around his face for yet another remark about his intelligence. But before he could shout it out his anger, the demon fox continued. Find something that you want to truly protect. It then simply answered with a calm and complete seriousness tone, holding the boy from shouting. Something that you had died for, just for the sake of keep that one thing safe, it then added.
How about villagers' rights?
This really surprised Naruto. He was expecting many things, like something along the lines of killing or destroying everything. That's what he always believed what the nine-tailed fox would try to convince him. But he really didn't expect such an honorable and humane reply to his truly serious question. Huh. To be honest, I really didn't thought you would really give me a really good answer, let alone say something like that. He replied with a humble tone. I want to point out, this is literally the entire point of the wave arc was for Naruto to learn this question. And yet that review said the wave arc still happens, so why does the wave arc still happen?
Plot contrivance.
I finished, by the way.
Whoa, damn, Zero! I didn't know you got off on this shit.
What can I say?
Yes, anime and racism. His two greatest fetishes.
Yes. But actually, the Slav QB.
Yeah, it looked like it looks like weird furry art, which is exactly why I knew that you'd find it, Zero, because you're the expert on that kind of thing.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure that's you, Peach. You are the one that banged cats.
No, he prefers the term "making love" to cats, or having love and making sex at cats.
What the fuck do you mean making sex at cats?
What?
The most powerful Baiju looked at Naruto with a very calm and wise look in his enormous face. I'm many things, brat, but it was your world's own history that made me a monster that everyone think I am. The QB then remarked. That made Naruto to really think over what he was taught. He knew that of the most power and evil Baiju. Then he added that to what he just saw firsthand, and he realized that the QB wasn't like thought he was. Sure, he could just believe that he was just saying that to trick him, but the honest in the QB's voice made him doubt that notion. Then Naruto remembered what he was told to do so he could get the power of the QB no Kitsune. But I already have people I want to protect. Gigi, who was like my grandfather I never had, though I'm still be a little mad at him for not letting me about you, I still care for him. Iruka-sensei, since he was like the father I never had, since my real ones died when I was born, and the Ichirakus, who never saw me as anything else than a normal kid. There's already a lot of people that I want to protect, Tetabayo. He then exclaimed the last bit while giving one of his true smiles, a simple, soft smile that was filled with pure happiness.
I'm sorry. He was like the father I never had since my real ones died when I was born. So
Yep.
Naruto had two fathers?
Yep. Kushina is officially a guy. This fic now officially has impreg.
Hell yeah.
Oh, fuck.
What the fuck? Why is mpreg even a thing?
I love how someone
Because
entered
God
the
has
voice
forsaken
chat
us
just
in
as
the
we
world.
started talking about that.
Because
Oh, look!
16-year-old girls, that's why.
Oh, look,
Give
it's
me,
someone
give
without
me.
any profile picture.
Yeah, give
any
me
role,
just a
any
second.
color.
Give me just a second.
Furry beard.
You sure it's not one of an undercover agent spying in on us, doing it very, very
No,
sketchy?
they don't even have to fucking come into the voice chat to build a case on us. Like 5 minutes search through the fucking Discord, and we'd all be fucked.
I'm all my name and address and everything is already in a federal database, so
I mean,
Sorry,
same.
guys.
Alright, moving on.
Yeah.
To that, the
It
QB
loses
watched
its
Naruto with its millennium-old eyes as he watched for any deception. When he found nothing but sincerity and honesty, he did something no one in a millennia had ever saw him do. He too smiled softly for the first time in his long, long life. Well, he suddenly then started, as his voice sounded much more calmer and with a hint of satisfaction in his voice tone. That's good enough for now, brat. I'll give you some of my chakra, he then simply declared. In response, the words didn't register in Naruto's head as he blinked a couple of times. Huh? He got out in confusion. This caused the QB to chuckle as he was expecting such a response, seemingly knowing that the blonde would react like that. See? This is why everyone calls you an idiot. You're really slow in the intake. He then taunted in good humor, which in turn caused Naruto to replace his confused expression into a furious one. I said, I'll let you have some of my chakra when you need it, but remember, there are consequences for using the power, such as... He then answered, but before he could say any more, his container started to yell in annoyance. Hold on! Where the hell did this come from, Tadabayo? Naruto then exclaimed his question in complete and utter confusion as he pointed at the demon fox. I just heard you saying that you always fought with your last two containers and tried to escape. Now you actually give me some of your chakra? He added, asked, as he was both suspicious and confused. Me too. The QB...
We're gonna have to read this, like, at least to chapter 4, not tonight, but over the next few streams.
I don't know if I can.
I swear to God, if the
most cringe point.
If the effect of using his power is something damaging, I'm gonna like.
It's not. I don't think it is. I think I remember what it is.
Imagine having drawbacks to power in a Naruto fanfic.
No, I mean the entire point of the Ninetales giving his power freely is that it has no effects on anyone.
Yeah, it's taking it forcibly that has the damaging effects.
Unless it just makes him horny.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say the forcibly. It's because the fox was full of hate.
Yeah.
But if the fox is just agreeing and being nice, there should be no effect.
I agree, Zero. But we'll see. The QB once just scoffed to that. As I've said, what I want is freedom, to do as I pleased, he stated with a very strange tone as well as with an equally strange chuckle. Naruto could have sworn that he heard the same strange chuckling from somewhere, but he took it as him trying to get out and finished what he started 12 years ago. Wait a minute, you just want to destroy Konoha, right? He then accused as he pointed at the demon. The QB just sighed in annoyance. Baka.
No.
If I actually wanted to do that, your village would have been destroyed before I was forced to fight that tree maker. It then explained his piece. Naruto could see the logic in that, but he could somehow feel that there was a very intense yet well-hidden hatred in its voice when the fox said tree maker. However, your first Hokage had a different reason for his dislike for me when I was in the first person I was sealed in. It then added as it then started chuckling again. Wait a minute. Naruto then got out as he then listened closer to the chuckling that was heard, as he finally recognized it and where he had heard it before. It was from some of the men that were in front of magazine store while looking at the dirty magazines. As naive as Naruto was on certain things, he still managed to connect the dots as his eyes widened from the realization. You're a pervert, aren't you? He shouted at the accusation while pointing at the demon fox with a tick mark on his forehead. Then the most powerful and most dangerous creature in all the shinobi nations, and probably the whole world, did something Naruto never thought was possible. He began to laugh his ass off as he didn't refuse the accusation.
Fuck.
Oh no. That's when Naruto realized yet another very important fact. Oh, good Kami. I have a pervert sealed inside of me. He got out as dread filled his very being. Your worst fear realized, Zero.
Yep. 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 Thank you. Thank you for that.
Oh gosh. Let me just see something.
Do you want to get dragged to the
Oh
mud even
my
more?
goodness.
Because I know what happens.
Wait, no, we gotta keep reading a little
Yeah.
bit because something else happens.
Right, let's move on.
We're not even halfway through the chapter yet.
We're yeah. It was worth placing the influence for that idea for that sexy jutsu of yours in that little head. That and the already perverted villagers at the red light district that I accidentally destroyed. Hubie then stated with a smirk as he then looked at the expression of disbelief on his container's face. You really thought the idea for creating that jutsu just came from nothing, brat? God.
He smirks a lot.
He remarked the question and still smirking.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
Rising Sun.
Oh my god, you're right.
Very similar writing style.
Oh my goodness.
Naruto's eye merely twitched as he watched the demon fox laughing in a perverse tone. Kami, damn it, Dadabayo.
You put them both in the same sentence. Oh shit. This is great.
Shit, fuck 6. Why?
He got out knowing that things were going to be interesting between the two from now on. Kai!
Is the flashback done? No?
I guess so. Is Kai the Japanese version of release?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's the author releasing the flashback no jutsu.
Flashback no jutsu. Yeah, you like it?
I'm just happy that none of my stories will ever be read in this context, as in a shit fic reading. I'm just thankful for that.
Velox, it's not Peach's fault. I'm the one that found this.
Fuck you.
I mean, I'm gonna blame Peach anyway.
Why? Because it's funny?
No, just because I'm a very good scapegoat.
Yeah.
I don't only do shit fics, because I was reading Aragon a while back.
When are we gonna read that?
Yeah, well, that's not a fic, though. That's an actual published novel.
I mean, fiction, not necessarily fan
Yeah.
fiction.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
fiction room.
Then read the Silmarillion. That should be enticing.
I'm glad Cockroach won't be read. Are you sure about that, Balls?
Oh shit,
Yes, I
okay
am,
then.
because the second chapter is smut. You can't...
That never stopped anyone.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm eventually going to be reading smut on here anyway.
We can just read the smut, but read it like it's My Immortal Smart. So
I don't think they know.
Cockroach put his thingy in
Should-
Rias's.
Do you want to announce it, Zero, or?
When my Patreon hits 2,000, I'm gonna write a Harry Potter x Dolores Umbridge smut, and Myth is gonna read it for you guys.
No.
Yes.
Not only
It's-
that, not only that.
And bury you alive.
Not only am I going to read it for y'all,
No.
He's gonna help me
we're
write it.
we're gonna do a stream where it's being written as well.
Yes.
Oh god.
Oh,
You
man,
guys
it's
can
easy.
join in and give us suggestions.
No.
I'll tell you a few things. It's gonna involve chastity, slugs.
Oh god.
A lot
I
of
already got
pink.
a line. I already got a line thought of.
A lot of pink and cat
An
pictures.
ungodly amount of lube.
Oh, no lube.
Gotta go in dry.
Hell yeah.
Yes, with each thrust made in lust, he broke Dumbledore's trust.
Oh my god. What the fuck was
That's great.
that? Okay, moving on.
How can you move on from such horrific stuff?
The QB's crimson chakra soon began to radiate intense heat. So much so that even the clone's lips began to dry up, and they were still over 10 feet away from him.
Dry up.
Yep.
Naruto's physical characteristics soon began to change. His nails turned into sharp claws. His canines grew longer and sharper. His whisker marks turned thicker and darker shade. Finally, his eyes turned from cerulean blue to blood red color, as his pupils turned into fox-like slits.
I'm confused. The cover art was an Uchiha with the fox. But...
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Oh, okay.
Who knows? Maybe it's Naruto and Sasuke's daughter from the future.
Oh god. But didn't that review say it only got to the Tsunade becoming Hokage?
Yeah, I think something stupid's gonna happen.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Now, Smurf took like 500,000 words to get to Wave Arc, but at least he had a reason to have Wave Arc still happen.
Yeah, and I'm not ass at writing. And I didn't fucking lewd the characters like this.
Not yet, despite Mandalore's fervent wish. Myth, I didn't say stop. Continue.
Keep going, Ever Peach says.
Like,
Harder, faster. Exhale of exasperation.
Naruto then turned to look at the clones with a feral look that could even scare a grown man. Just a single grown man.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like everyone else just jumps on him and starts kicking the shit out of him. One guy pisses. It's like the Madara scene if Madara just got jumped by everyone and couldn't fight back.
As he swiped his hand through the air, causing a small shockwave to take out at least half of the shadow clones. One of the clones that had managed to survive to the attack, he looked at the original with a shock expression. "Crap! He's gone QB!" That clone warned before he was immediately destroyed by Naruto as he dashed from his location at twice the normal speed and slammed his fist into the clone's face. But no sooner that happened, all the other clones surrounded him. They each made different hand seal as fast as they could. "Wind style, air bullet!" half of the remaining clones, as they send multiple air bullets. But by doing so, they also disappeared from using the remaining chakra. "Exploding shadow clone jutsu!" the other clones called out as they ran right at the front of the QB power-up Naruto, causing a massive explosion around him. I'm confused. Didn't they already do the... Like, I thought all of them already did the exploding shadow clone. Why are there any left?
Maybe the kind of explosion is a different kind. If you know, catch my
Oh,
drift.
God.
If you know what I'm saying.
I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Alright.
I'm not gonna pick it up at all.
We can smell it.
I can smell what the rock is cooking.
2 feet long.
But what would surely mean death for any other ninja. It was nothing too life-threatening for the #1 unpredictable knuckle-headed ninja of Konoha, as he did what many would call a reckless and suicidal move. He channeled a good portion of the Kyuubi's chakra into his throat as he crossed his arms. Just as the bullets and the explosion were a few feet at him, Naruto had managed to gather enough chakra at his throat to unleash a massively beastly roar that blocked most of the attack. This caused an explosion to expand and released a huge shockwave, tearing down the surrounding trees and making a small crater around where the blonde was last seen with a pillar of smoke rising.
This is before Wave?
Yes.
Right after graduation.
Yeah, this is even before team assignments.
He went from being the stupidest dumbass on the planet to
being the stupidest dumbass, but with
shadow clones who can he can fucking. What level is he at this point if he can do that sort of damage?
I don't know. It's just the third Okage was a dumbass for giving an imbecile a way to make.
This is Four Tails level.
Yeah. Perfect idea. Give a 12-year-old bombs, basically, that can walk.
I like how each tail has a sword.
Not each tail.
Oh, most of them?
Only 5 of the tails.
He has a rifle.
On top.
He's holding a gun in his paws, I think.
Yeah.
He's just he's controlling it with his mind.
Is that a Springfield or is that an infield import?
Good question.
I can't tell because of the band. I think it's a Springfield. I don't know.
Good job, Noah.
Good job, Snake.
Wait, is General Lee Madara in this case because he's writing Kurama?
Maybe.
What is that? Does that mean Grant is Hashirama?
Probably.
Stonewall. Looks like it's Springfield.
Stonewall Jackson would be Izuna, I think.
Naruto stood in the center of the crater as the smoke eventually cleared itself. His orange tracksuit was more than just a little torn. It was in near ruins, having many burned part from the explosion. He knew he will need a new one after this. He wasn't much better, but the wounds were minor in comparison to what the damage could have been if he had took the full force of the attack. And thanks to the Kyuubi's chakra, the wounds were healing already. He would be at full strength again with a good long hour's rest.
You know
Full
he's gonna
strength.
buy black clothes.
Full strength after only an hour's rest.
Look, he's super strong. Okay, you can't compare to him. He's just like Jon Snow from the Rising Sun.
He's even better than Jon Snow from Rising Sun.
Yeah,
he has the power. He has the full power of the South within him.
Yes. he has the embodiment of the South will rise again within him.
I'm sorry.
Well, that was intense. Naruto got out in a strained tone. No doubt from the exposure of the Kyuubi's chakra into his system, as he waved his hands to blow out the smoke. From inside of the seal, Kyuubi only scuffed at that. No kidding, you idiot. That was both stupid and reckless. Now I'm all good at being stupid and reckless in a real fight, but not when you use my chakra, he commented. You know the consequences of using my chakra unless it's at least a last-ditch option.
Myth just got tripped up hard.
Yes.
What the fuck is this sense? Unless it's as a last-ditch.
He then added,
Oh
no. I would like to point out that this is still the first scene of the fanfic.
So we're roughly a third of the way through the chapter.
Like this is still just the first scene, and it's been interrupted now by 2 flashbacks.
Oh God.
I at least limited my first chapter to 3,000 or 4,000 words when I had 2 flashbacks. At least I had the courtesy of being shit across the board.
Naruto merely sighed to that as he looked up and saw that it was already night, the full moon shining down over him. Flashback no jutsu! After the two
Okay.
settled down after the pervert issue, the QB looked at Naruto with a very serious look. Alright, Kit.
So he
Here,
said this.
here's the thing about using my
Another
chakra.
thing to cross off the Naruto cliche bingo board.
Here's the thing about using my chakra. He began as Naruto for once stood there waiting to hear what he was about to say. It'll give you a big power boost to all your natural abilities and jutsus. But the more and the longer you use it, the more it'll burn your skin if you overuse it. But above all, any negative emotions can greatly affect you in the worst possible way. And will most likely make you go berserk, which will make you attack enemy or ally alike. He explained. Any other questions, Kit? He then asked.
I'm gonna make a prediction. Naruto is going to have a fucking huge dick, and they're gonna say, use as an explanation for it. You know what they say about guys with large chakra.
Oh no.
This is
I think
exactly
I can
what I
confirm
mean.
One. I think I could confirm that.
The Nine
Or at least
Tails.
the part about him having a huge dick.
He just explained all of the consequences of befriending Kurama using the chakra.
Like he's quite literally befriended the fox at this point.
Yes.
But there's still bad effects because plot must happen.
Yep.
Makes no sense. I hate this shit.
Like, at this point, he should be doing the bonding with, like, doing the fight with Kushina's help that they had just before he obtained Kurama mode.
Exactly. If the fox was in full, what's the word?
Cooperation?
Not possession. Cooperation, yeah. At the very least, he would have met both his parents.
Yes.
Because he would have had to try to open the seal.
Indeed. Naruto took everything Kyuubi said to heart as he began to think of anything he could ask. After a moment or two, he finally thought of something. Just one. Can I use it to train? Naruto asked. As long as you don't abuse it like the baka that you are, should be okay for a few minutes, but only if you don't overuse it, the Kyuubi remarked as his chakra then began to slither at Naruto. Another thing. Might get a small enhancement of your natural abilities as a result.
For fuck's
He added.
I swear to God, man.
Wait, what? Naruto exclaimed, but couldn't say anything else as he was tangled by the red, bubbling chakra. Oi! He then got out. Don't overreact to it.
British.
The demon fox ordered in a casual manner as he watched the events unfold. It's like I said, I'm just gonna give you some small enhancement of things you already had, such as hearing, smell, sight, reaction time, and a good healing factor. Though it can be increased its effect even more if you used my chakra. But you still have to be careful or you could overload your senses and damage your body. Demon Fox explained with his eyes closed while his container was being swallowed by the chakra. Kai.
Yep. Instead of just saying the drawbacks in the conversation in the first scene, you have to flashback it.
Yeah.
This kind of writing.
Naruto was still mad about the idiot bit, but he was sure not to overuse it, because he really didn't want to attack his allies and friend. Just a singular friend. I wonder who that singular friend is.
Hinata?
I wouldn't be surprised. Even though in canon he really has no acknowledgement that she even exists.
Even when she just proclaims her love, he just acts like she doesn't exist.
Right?
He's still simping for Sasuke, that's why. But in this story, no, I won't say anything.
Thank you.
I'll let you guys be surprised.
We'll
I'll let you guys be pleasantly surprised.
But he really liked that slight boost of his regular abilities. Then after taking a deep breath and stretch a bit, he figured he had done enough training today. Naruto started walking home. The cool night breeze felt good after hours of intense training, monstrous stamina or not. Oh look, it's officially a new scene. Because he's no longer he's finally changing location.
Yes.
A good third of the chapter was one scene with 2 flashbacks. Unbeknownst to the Uzumaki, someone, whose face was covered that to a mask, was watching him as he left. What? What?
Don't think about it.
Man, that gave me a scare. I thought I would have to get involved if he had gone berserk, the masked man commented with a relieved tone in his voice. Hokage-sama just had to give me this mission, he grumbled as he thought back to when his leader ordered him to watch over Naruto. Oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh my gosh, how many fucking flashbacks are there?
No, this is better.
This wasn't even...
Just, listen, it's not just a flashback no jutsu. It's a sentence before it that the guy's like, I remember when this happened to me long ago.
It's like that fucking episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge where it's constantly flashbacking, like back and forth. Or like the fucking clip show episode.
Flashback no jutsu! In the Hokage's office. Just because we have to know where exactly we are.
You know,
in case...
This reminds me of, you know that Kung Pao where the dude's doing the flashbacks? This is exactly it. I remember when the Hokage gave me a mission, and then you'll have him be like, your mission is to watch Uzumaki, and then it ends.
And then he killed the dog.
Yeah.
He said Naruto would be important. Naruto
he will be important.
Flashback end. I got a mission.
Yes. This is the Kung Pao of Naruto fanfiction now. Hiruzen had just summoned the masked man just after Naruto had left. Do you understand? You must watch over Naruto-kun until the time for the team placements, the third Hokage ordered. Sir, this is a tall demand. The masked man started with some hesitation tone in his voice. It could be very dangerous for him to train with all the high-level jutsu he is trying to learn. It could let the Kyuubi's chakra out, and it could result in him going berserk. He then elaborates. Hiruzen nodded to this in response. I understand what you mean, but that is the reason you will be watching him from the shadows. If it gets drastic or possibly dangerous, you will be there to calm it down with your power, he explained. Oh, I guess this is an early introduction of Tenzo?
Yep. Wood boy. He's gonna show Naruto his wood.
Oh god. Oh god.
Hey kid, you want to see this trick?
I'm not questioning your decision, and I'll fulfill it to the best of my abilities. It's just I'm worried if Naruto uses the Kyuubi's chakra, be it by choice or by accident, this early stage could result in him having to rely on it, which could be very dangerous. for both himself and those around him, the masked man explained his piece. Hiruzen merely chuckled in response to that. Naruto is a stubborn boy. He isn't someone who will want to completely rely on the Kyuubi's power. You may not have seen it yet, but he is someone who will actually work hard and always trains until the point of exhaustion. He soon started his explanation. With that said, the masked man just bowed deeply. Very well, Hokage-sama. I trust your judgment, he stated with complete calmness, knowing that he could trust the leader of the village as he then left to fulfill his mission. The old Kami no Shinobi
Yep, I know.
just chuckled once more as he then walked toward his window and looked at Naruto heading to his apartment. Did you really think I wouldn't know that you got more than just the shadow clone from the scroll, Naruto-kun? He thought to himself with a smile on his face. He already knew that Naruto had taken more jutsus from the Forbidden Scroll, but since those jutsus were only dangerous to those with low chakra, he decided to let Naruto have them for his arsenal. After all, with his enormous amount of chakra he possesses, those jutsus will not be of any danger to him.
Oh, goodness.
This is a massive wall of text.
Yeah. That's technically all one sentence. I guess we could theoretically cut this part off.
Yeah.
Have it be separated. But still, that's still a
Narrative
lot.
pacing, though. Having more than 2 bits
What
of
is so
dialogue
bad
in a
about
single
the images,
paragraph is
Paul?
awful.
Yeah. I just hope that this is a good start for you to forgive me, he then added with a sad smile, as if he knew that though Naruto did forgive him, the smile he gave before was one of those that he uses to those he tries to fool or to try to hide his resentment towards others. I will make this right, he said in a low but with determined voice, before remembering the stack of paperwork, causing him to groan in annoyance.
I swear to God, if there's the plot point where Naruto is like, just use the
Just
shadow
use the
clone
shadow
to do
clone."
paperwork.
Why don't you just use your shadow clones to do paperwork? As if the professor, as if the man known as the professor wouldn't have thought of that.
Wouldn't
The
he get
clones
all
just
the
kill
boredom
themselves.
of everything after they dispelled anyway?
Yeah, he gets the experience of it anyway, so what's the point?
And what if they all read and do paperwork, but like half of it contradicts each other or something?
Has anyone ever told you sound like Butthead from Beavis and Butthead?
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, if no one had before, they have.
They
now.
have now.
I don't mean it in a mean way. It just hit me.
Kai.
Hey, I got called a Midwestern Ben Shapiro one time.
What?
And it doesn't
That's
help
so
that I kind of
offensive. You're not Jewish.
stuttered. I stuttered at one point, and so he said, "Do the thing where it says and the idea." So idea is like and the idea that you thought that this was factual in any way whatsoever is just completely ludicrous.
My God. And just like his leader had told him, the masked man did saw the pure determination and hard work Naruto displayed during his self-training. He was very impressed with the fact that he managed to, more or less, manage to execute those high-level jutsus after only a week of practicing them from early mornings to late at night nearly non-stop. Oh my God, Naruto's so fucking cool, holy shit.
Holy shit.
Though he still has a long way to go before he can even use them properly and efficiently, he has a horrible chakra control, he thought to himself as he sweat dropped at the many times Naruto tried to use the jutsus, only to blow up on his face. Literally. He soon watched as Naruto was, though wobbling in each step, left after he put on a spare set of clothing he had brought with him. Well, I guess this mission is finished. Better go and report to Hokage-sama of Naruto's progress and that there wasn't any need for my involvement, the masked man concluded as he left to do just that via smokeless Shunshin. At the streets of the village. Konohagakure. God. Why? Why? Just use English. Trump, but British. For those on YouTube that won't know what I'm talking about. Was eerily quiet at this time of night, where if someone had dropped a Sinban, it would have sounded like someone had dropped a metal pipe. But growing up in a ninja village since the day he was born made Naruto used to it. This was Naruto's usual way back home after his long training session, as it was both on his way back home and by Ichiraku Ramen too, wanting to get something to eat before he went to bed, only to find it had already closed for the night. Damn it, he said with a depressed tone at the closed sign. Though Ichiraku had a habit of closing late in order to better accommodate ninja who trained or arrive after a mission until late in the night, it didn't feel like cooking, so for it to be closed meant Naruto had been training harder and later than usual. Naruto let out a big sigh. Guess it's cupped ramen tonight. Naruto got out as he continued walking to his apartment with slouched shoulders. Then after a couple of blocks, he started to smell something funny in the air. After what the Kyuubi told him about using his chakra, Naruto had finally starting to notice that his senses had indeed gotten a lot better than before, even if there were small residue from earlier use. So much so that he could now recognize a person just by the smell of them. Oh my god. So awesome, guys.
His nose knows
The
everything.
nose knows. The nose knows.
Yep. Powerful.
This was the reason why Naruto had been training extremely hard since then, so that this wouldn't cause problems later on, wanting to train with the Kyuubi's chakra to get his body to adjust to the changes, or risk having his senses go overloaded by their new sensitivity. And all while the Kyuubi's chakra was still flowing through him from the earlier use, his senses were, for the moment at least, sharper than even those of the Inuzuka clan. Oh my god, guys, Naruto's so cool.
His nose knows more than the Inuzuka's nose.
You know? It took about a day for this effect to wear off and returning to normal, though that depends on how much of the Kyuubi's chakra he used and would still remain in his body. He had been training with the Kyuubi's chakra for only a week, but had learned a lot about his new sensing abilities. One thing he learned is that along with their own sense, every man and woman had a second scent, one more pungent to those able to smell it. It told him if it was a man or a woman. He still hadn't figured out how it worked, but he knew the two scents were definitely for a man and a woman.
God damn it.
Literally every time. Women, women, women. Man is singular, women is plural.
Man and a women.
Man and a women.
What a guy.
That's why the scent present to him was very confusing. That smells like Sasuke. But why is there a girl scent mixed in?
Oh, I see where this is going.
He pondered as his face suddenly turned from his confused to horrified. Ah! What if it's him and Sakura-chan? He soon exclaimed as he imagined the scene in his head. Sakura draped on top of Sasuke, their bodies only covered by a dark blue blanket in each other's arms.
Are they 11?
They're 12.
12.
Ugh.
Also, did the writer gender bend Sasuke just because they can't deal with him having accidentally kissed him in the class? Okay.
I mean, remember the synopsis. the pairing.
I know, but
For some
like,
reason,
Yeah.
there's a Uchiha girl with the Kibi chakra cloak.
but if I were writing this, not saying I would.
If you were writing this, you wouldn't post it because no one fucking
Okay, listen. If I
donates
was
your
writing,
Patreon for
if I
this.
was writing a gender bent Sasuke, I wouldn't have it be a girl pretending to be a guy for billions of years. I would have just put it as a girl.
Yeah. Like,
Well, it's not. Wait, Myth, are you closing this? Okay, good.
no, I was closing the
One
duplicated
thing,
tab.
one thing, you get this right. It's not billions of years because that would make her legal. All right. Like, she's young. That's the
That-
whole point of making this creepy.
Yeah, you missed what I was saying.
No, I
They-
understand what you're
that-
saying.
does it-
exactly.
Does it ever actually give a reason why she's pretending to be a guy?
I doubt it. There's absolutely no fucking reason. Like, there's no reason they would pretend to, like, even before the
But
massacre.
even for it to be bought, it would have had to have been a from birth thing.
Yeah.
You would have had his mother and father telling everyone they have a
They
boy.
had a yeah.
That wouldn't happen because, like, obviously, with Tsunade and everything, and just Uchiha in general, I don't think they'd be ashamed of having a female daughter.
See,
I feel-
unless
A female
I
daughter.
can't even remember.
I-
What other kind of
Although-
daughter is there?
An abortion.
A male daughter, as opposed to a female one.
Hmm.
Imaginary Sakura's face was as red as a rose, and she looked at her partner. Sasuke-kun, I love you, she gently whispered in a love-filled tone. Imaginary Sasuke's smirking face as he guides her face closer to his own. Of course you do. He said as if it was something to be expected. Their faces come even closer until their lips almost meet. That's where Naruto shook his head, wanting to end the revolting scene before it went any further. No freaking way, Databayo, he declared. Determined to
Is he
stop.
a Christian child? Frick.
Determined to stop things before they even get started. Naruto followed the two synths and it led him to Sasuke's apartment. Bastard! He took her back to his place? Alright, pal, that tears it. Naruto declared as he gathered some of his chakra to his feet to jumped up and grabbed onto Sasuke's patio.
Gosh. Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
Oh no. Ever since the Uchiha massacre, Sasuke has stayed in an apartment the Hokage assigned to him, as he didn't want to live where his family was murdered. It was located on the second floor of an apartment complex about 10 minutes away from Naruto's place. Sasuke had the same financial setup with the village as Naruto did, since the massacre of the Uchiha clan. Although Sasuke's apartment was a lot nicer, and most, if not all, of his appliances were in perfect working order. The village supplied orphans like them with money every month to live off of, until they graduated from the academy, and could earn money from a mission after a year.
He's the heir to a clan. He doesn't need money.
Yeah. Also, I just had a horrible idea.
What's up?
Remember how the description says civilian council bashing?
Yeah.
I think I know why Sasuke's hiding as a guy.
I will. Do you want me to confirm or
no.
not? Do you want me to confirm?
Let me
yes or
guess.
no?
They want to
Yes.
marry him off.
Clan Restoration Act is my
Oh
thought.
no.
Smurf. Yep, it's Clan
That-
Restoration Act.
Okay, if I remember correctly, I think the reason why all the students didn't know was
Well,
because
no.
think
I
the
don't
clan
care
heads
why
went
they
along
don't
with it,
know.
I think the clan heads went along with it and lied to their own kids about Sasuke being a boy.
Imagine being like gods among men, like godlike power, and you just like fucking pissing yourself in fear of a bunch of old fat ass civilians. It's like it's like a fucking anti-art dungeon. It's like the civilians are all
I'm
ugly
pretty
bastards.
sure there would be a shinobi that would be willing to take the L and becoming a missing nin for killing a shit ton of civilians
there's
just
me
to
for
free
your next
Konoha?
pick.
The assholes.
That's the okay.
Oh, you want me to
Someone
write
here,
one?
Write that. Write that. Yes, write that.
If somebody takes the L and kills the civilian council, just says fuck it.
The civilian
the-
council isn't even a canon concept.
I know it's not, and I decided. And
It
not
isn't. It's
fucking
completely
canon.
fanon.
It's fanon. What the fuck?
The
Wait.
only kind of council that Konoha has in canon are the elders.
Yeah, the 3 elders. That's right.
Yeah,
yeah, the Okage elders.
yeah, which were literally only a thing because they were Hiruzen's old teammates.
So it's
Yeah,
just nepotism. It's
Yes.
nepotism.
Weren't each of them like former ninjas with decades of experience? Or
Oh yeah.
One
Yeah.
of them was Denzo.
Yes.
The other 2 were random old people.
No, I'm pretty sure they were both former ninjas.
Seen that.
They were all ninjas.
And they were pretty skilled to
Yeah,
be
but we
able to
never
be in the
really
same
saw
category
them.
as Kagami and Danzo and Hiruzen.
Okay, moving on. After that horrifying realization of why,
Yeah.
Naruto soon backflipped into the air, doing a complete 360 as he landed on Sasuke's patio railing.
Did he
What?
no scope?
Oh my god, Naruto's so fucking cool, holy shit.
MLG Pro.
While he stood on the railing, Naruto peered through the patio window, poking his head out from the side, trying to see what was happening. What he saw next was not what he expected. What the? Naruto whispered as he looked in. He definitely saw what looked like Sasuke, but something was off about him.
Maybe it was the tits.
He could only see his bare back. He had no shirt on at the moment.
He
In
wanted to
fact,
go bareback.
the only clothes he seemed to be wearing were a pair of blue boxers. But they seemed to be shorter than what most guys he knew wore. Why do you know what
Yeah.
kind of boxers other guys are wearing, Naruto?
Look, man. He has urges.
He has certain particular needs, just like Jiraiya does, except of the less fairer sex.
Indeed.
He had an hourglass figure. Hourglass figure at 12 years old. What the fuck?
It gets worse. It gets a lot fucking worse.
And his hair flowed down his back all the way to his butt and looked silky smooth, just as his skin did. Near the upper back area, Naruto could see there seemed to be some bandages surrounding something, but wasn't exactly sure what. That weird. But anyways, I don't see Sakura-chan in there at all. And how the hell did the Tame grow his hair out in such a short time? Naruto muttered out as he asked the questions. In the seal, meanwhile, the Kyuubi was laying down on the floor as he smirked at what Naruto was thinking, as he already figured it out what was going on. Looks like the kid's about to learn a really interesting little secret. He thought to himself as he decided to not interfere and let things play out. Alright, before we move on, Noah has a prediction.
Alright.
His prediction, Fem Sasuke is going to be named Satsuki.
It's just like how Fem Naruto is named Naruko. Or in one certain case, Rin.
I almost named her Mito.
Rin
No.
works better.
Yes, that's why I decided on Rin.
Just imagine like Naruto meets Kushina. We were gonna call you Obito at first.
It's like fuck that. It's like fuck that.
Naruto, however,
What Obito
shuddered.
would have felt killing them, whereas like he's holding baby Obito. It's like shit.
Baby Obito. People thinking, oh, this is fucking awkward.
Naruto, however, shuddered before swallowing his pride and banged a fist on the door. once. Damn it! Why the hell am I even doing this? Grr. It's because I have no idea. I have no idea if that bastard took Sakura-chan, he thought in a small fit of agitation. After a few moments, the door opens up, revealing Sasuke in a sleeping kimono, but with something seeming a bit off, seeing as how Naruto can smell the scent of a girl coming off him, and that his hair was somehow short again, clearly contradicting the way he just saw him with his hair down. What do you want, Dobe? Sasuke then asked in annoyance, though he was strangely sweating, as if he was really nervous about something. When Naruto saw the nervousness of Sasuke, he glared at him, as he thought he was right about Sakura being here, then taking a deep breath and narrowing his eyes at Sasuke. Where's Sakura-chan? He began, getting straight to the point. Did you take her here? If you did, what did you do to her, Teime? He then questioned in a slightly rapid speed. Sasuke, meanwhile, raised an eyebrow to that before returning to his normal glare. Why in Kami's name would I bring that pink-haired deadweight to my home?
Wow.
Sakura bashing has begun, guys. Do I seem like the kind of person who takes pleasure in her loud, unholy, banshee voice? He growled out once more in annoyance, irritated by the questions. Naruto's eye twitched at the insult the Uchiha was giving the girl he crushed on. Then why do I smell a strong scent of a girl here at your place? If you're lying or something weird's going on here, Teime, he then yelled in anger before taking a few sniffs of air discreetly. From within the seal, the Kyuubi was using all of his willpower not to burst out in roaring laughter, as he was enjoying this very entertaining show. In response to the declaration, Sasuke stared at Naruto in shock expression for a brief moment, before going back to a calm facade. I don't know what you're talking about, Dobe, but I haven't brought any girls in my apartment. If there were, I wouldn't be able to get a good night's sleep with their infuriating, non-stop bellowing. So you better leave before I kick you out, he calmly stated before he gave one last glare at the blonde, before turning around back to his home. Naruto huffed out and said while unconsciously drawing a bit of the Kyuubi's chakra as his eyes briefly turned crimson before it turned back to normal. Fine, if you don't want to tell me, I'll go to the Hokage. Fellow Konoha shinobi or not, I will go to the old man, since you could be hiding something dangerous or putting another fellow shinobi in danger, he countered in a serious manner. This sudden declaration made Sasuke made a complete halt. Then, when he turned around to face Naruto, his face turned to a complete shock by both the sudden change of eye color. He then shook his head as he tightened his fist. Would the Dobe really run to the Hokage for this? That idiot wasn't supposed to find out like this. Or at all. He thought in rising panic as he now was more terrified by the chance of his secret being found out than the animalist eyes of his former classmate. Naruto, meanwhile, was getting frustrated by the lack of reply from the black-haired Genin that he was ready to blow a fuse. Hey, I'm talking to you, Teime! He roared as he have had enough from the Uchiha lack of responded before he walked up and grabbed onto the frozen Sasuke's shoulder, forcing him to look at him while pulling off part of the kimono by accident, allowing Naruto... Whoa, what happened?
I read ahead.
There we are. While pulling off part of the kimono by accident, allowing Naruto to catch a glimpse of bandages around Sasuke's upper torso. Eh? He barely got out as he wondered if Sasuke had an injury or something. To this, Kyuubi merely smirked as he noticed the small detail about the Uchiha. This sudden action Sasuke to gain a flushed face as he quickly pulls his kimono back away from Naruto and glares heatedly at him while fixing the kimono to cover himself back up. What the hell is your problem, Dobe? The Sasuke yelled out in anger, although he was trying to hide a flushed expression. I can't believe he actually did that. That was too close for comfort, he thought with a very un-Sasuke-like tone. Listen, Dobe, if you don't get out of my home, I'll kick you out myself, he soon threatened as he was on his wits' end dealing with a blonde Genin. This threat instantly made Naruto glare back at Sasuke, not feeling the least bit intimidated. Oh yeah, Teimei? How about a little bet? We go somewhere else, and we have a match. Best 2 out of 3 wins. I win, and you tell me why you have a strong female scent on you. You win, and you can keep your secret. He then challenged the black-haired Uchiha. What would happen if I say no to this whole thing, Dobe? Sasuke asked while thinking on the sudden change in demeanor of the blonde's way of thinking. Since when did the idiot can think things through so calmly, he thought, as he was actually impressed by the way Naruto thought things through. Even Sasuke thinks Naruto's cool, guys. It has to be true.
He's so fucking cool. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's simple. You don't get a fighting chance to defend your secret, and I go straight to Hokage Gigi. Naruto then revealed while crossing his arms. Sasuke's eyes widened to that, since he and most of the village knew how close the blonde Genin was to the Hokage, as they see each other as grandson or grandfather. And it would only take a few minutes to reach him. Crap. I can't let him go to the Hokage. They'll interrogate me if they learn about... Hopefully I can beat the idiot and keep my...
Her secret either? What the fuck?
There's no way the Hokage doesn't know.
Man has a crystal ball. He's like, let's look at the Uchiha era. Make sure he's doing alright. What the fuck?
Remember the context that she is a 12-year-old girl. She doesn't realize that the Hokage knows everything. That she didn't put the wool, drop the wool over his
probably bad enough to not think about that.
Again, I'm the guy who was retarded enough to read tens of thousands
Oh, no.
of words of this.
Oh no.
You mean myth?
Oh no.
No, me. Oh, you reached that part, myth.
No, I was reading a meme in my channel.
Oh.
What the fuck, Smurf?
What? Mine?
Shit.
The one I put?
Me as a dad makes a funny "that's what she said" joke. My son, Dad, stop, I'm only 14. My brother, that's what she said.
Holy shit. Alright, let's
See,
go.
the time... Get on with the story.
We need to go to the name reveal.
Yep, moving on. Okay. Hopefully I can beat the idiot and keep my secret safe. I can't let anyone find out the truth, he thought as he looked up at his fellow Genin and sighs heavily, making it seem like he is more annoyed than worried. Fine, Dobe. When I win, you keep your mouth shut and get off my property, got it? He then replied as he was ready to fight with everything he's got to keep his secret hidden. Naruto smirked at his rival. Bring it on! He instantly replied, ready to fight, as he always wanted to have a rematch against him, and now that he was much stronger than all the years in the academy put together, he felt like he could stand a chance. Beat him, even. I'm calling bullshit if Naruto wins. He's already exhausted from training all day.
You can win in different ways.
God. That does not fill me with confidence.
It wasn't meant to.
Oh dear.
It was meant to be a sign of foreboding.
The QB, meanwhile, in the seal smirked as the two stared each other down. Well now, this is gonna be interesting, he stated as he just knew this will be the best entertainment he has seen in a long time. At a private Uchiha training grounds, away from prying eyes. Sasuke was standing just a few feet from Naruto as said blonde was doing some stretches, wanting to be ready when the match started. So, Dobe, what was that about you could smell a female scent on me? I know for a fact that you're no Inuzuka. So what's the deal? He asked as that was what really bothering him. He was always careful to make sure not to leave any trails, So for him to detect something like a female scent was something he must know, so that he could avoid it in the future. Naruto, who was already done with his brief stretches, faltered a little by Sasuke's sudden question, as he didn't expect him to ask something like that of all things. The fact that he was actually talking to him as a normal person, and not ignore him was another factor. I guess you can call it somewhat of an improved bloodline, Tame. I recently learned about it and asked the old man if he could explain what it did. Naruto vaguely said, after trying to find the right words without giving anything away. You have a bloodline, Dobe? What exactly did it do besides your enhanced nose? Sasuke asked as he was honestly curious about this so-called bloodline, and how he could actually smell a gender. Naruto just scuffed at the question. I don't think it's...
Fluid are Naruto's greatest enemy in this.
I don't think it's any of your business, Tame. Seeing as how I don't go around to ask you how your Sharingan works, now do I? Naruto countered question with a defensive tone, as he had no intention about telling Sasuke about the Kyuubi enhancing his natural abilities. Besides, I don't trust you to actually give you ideas on how my bloodline works, he added. This immediately caused Sasuke to raise slightly his eyebrow, as he would have expected someone like Naruto to brag something about having a bloodline and not care for keeping his abilities secret. Fine with me, Dobe. I don't care anyways, Sasuke replied as he turned his head, but only slightly to hide his annoyance and his disappointment of not being able to find a way to block or hide his smell. Damn, something is definitely up with the idiot. But what? He thought out of rising curiosity. Are we going to start this match or not? Naruto then asked as his limited patience had finally ran out. Sasuke merely rolled his eyes to that question. Alright, Dobe, we can have our match here. This training field is far away enough from the civilian homes, and no Anbu should interrupt us since we both agree to this, so we shouldn't get interrupted. Sasuke explained as the two arrived to the same training field Uchiha had used to use when he was younger. Then the Ginins were finally ready to fight. Now to beat him and shut him up for good, he thought as he was desperate to do so. Why is... We're in Sasuke's perspective right now.
Yes.
Why does it keep using male pronouns when we as the audience already know it's a girl?
Because shut the fuck up.
Because he didn't
Because
specifically...
the author is incapable of structuring a word sentence without using he or she did this. That's why.
Like, it would make sense if it was Naruto's point of view.
Yeah, but sense is the only thing that is absent in this story.
Before the start of the match, Naruto creates a shadow clone to stand off away from the fight to act as the proctor. This made Sasuke to gain a startled expression at the sight of the clone. He made a perfect clone? But how? I thought it was his worst jutsu. He thought to himself as he remembered always seeing Naruto creating horrible clones.
I'm so confused because he keeps saying he thought to himself. When I'm tabbed, I keep thinking it's like, oh, it's Naruto. Then I realize,
Nope,
wait,
it's Sasuke. or whatever her female name is.
Remember, Noah has money on it being Satsuki.
That, and Noah raises a good point. If Naruto can smell it, how the fuck can't Kiba?
Yeah, well, Diet Naruto is constantly forgotten in Fix. So.
Alright, ground rules are the following. Aside from killing, anything goes, and whoever forfeits or loses consciousness first loses the match. Got it, Tame? The Naruto clones. The Naruto clones.
I hate that shit where it's like, anything goes aside from killing. Okay, so you can chop his arm off?
Pretty much. Dismemberment is fine, just no killing.
Yeah, just chop off his leg. You can see how well he fights after.
Chop off his
Touch
arms. He
testicles.
can't do any hand seals.
Yeah, ever.
Kick him in the balls. Make sure they're can't revive your clan after that, can you?
I mean,
He doesn't have them.
he doesn't have any.
It's a woman.
It'll still hurt if you get kicked in the crotch.
Yeah, true.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, it's awful. Oh,
Do you know from experience? Is there something you're not telling us?
I didn't get kicked in the balls. I got kicked with a soccer ball from like
In the
2
balls?
feet
Well,
away.
but
You
the-
swan dived into a wooden couch and dented your skull. Clumsy
That's
fuck.
the difference. I wasn't.
I
just
was
sucked
talking
at it.
about. You said that Zero said that it would hurt regardless if you're a guy or a girl, because getting hit in the
Yes.
crotch hurts.
The only difference is
You said you
is
know
it's
that.
sensitive- No, I know that getting hit in the genitals is fucking awful.
Yeah, any
That's what I
guy
was
knows
getting.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But you said it right after the response that it should be that would
I
also hurt
remember
as a girl.
I should kick a woman in the crotch.
Damn, girl.
Damn.
Just for fun. Just like, you know, walking down the street, chicks passing me by, I just rear my leg back and just let her rip.
And, she's like,
And then
"Oh,
ask
this
her,
is
so did that hurt like it
fuck."
does for guys?
Yeah, was her, yes.
Okay. The only difference is that it doesn't connect to like their vagus nerve or anything like that. So there it isn't the same as like the immediate nausea response of
The
starting
Las
vomiting.
Vegas nerve?
No, there's a nerve called the vagus nerve, which partially connects to your genitals, connects to your heart, connects through your stomach and up into your spine.
Sounds horrifying.
That's why you get the nausea response when you get hit in the balls, because it stimulates the vagus nerve in all the bad ways. So your brain gets confused that, oh, your stomach is saying you're nauseous because you got hit in the balls because they're both connected, your balls and your stomach. That's why you end up puking.
The more you learn.
Yes.
Moving on.
Yes, moving on.
The Naruto clone said as the real one got into a fighting stance. Now to find out what's really going on around here, Sasuke, the real one thought to himself. How I waited for this chance to beat the Tame, he added as excitement was beginning to fill his being. Sasuke then recovered from his earlier startlement as he scoffed at the clone's rules before he then got into the Uchiha clan's stance. Just don't be complaining when I beat you into the ground like I always do, Dobe. He taunted with his normal indifferent tone. Right back at you, Tame. Naruto shot back as he got into his brawler-like stance. I'm not going to lose that easily like before. Not anyone. He then added as he began to sense chakra throughout his body to increase his normal physical abilities. The clone looks at both of them before raising his hand. Fighters ready? He started as he saw the determined expressions on both their faces. Begin! I was almost expecting him to say Hajime instead. He soon declared as he then chopped his arm down quickly as the two fighters quickly shot at each other. In case you didn't get it, it's quickly.
Yo.
Both of them ready to deliver a punch. As the two closed in on each other, their punches connect with the other, creating a small shockwave.
Shockwave? What the fuck is this? Dragon Ball?
Cancel each other's attacks and forcing them to jump apart. By this collision, both young Guineans shook their fists as they were slightly hurt by the impact. It caused a small shockwave, but they're only slightly hurt.
Make it make sense.
We can't.
It's anime.
Oh,
Fan
jeez.
fiction of anime specifically.
Once
I've read
recovered,
fan fiction of anime. It's not. I don't.
it
give a
doesn't
shit.
have to not make sense. Once recovered, Sasuke groaned as he expected to end the match as soon as it began. Guess he wasn't bragging. He really did improve. It looks like I'm going to have to get serious, he thought to himself before he began to make some hand signs. ending the signs with a tiger seal. Fire style, fireball jutsu! Sasuke got out as his cheeks expanded and he blew out a medium-sized fireball toward Naruto. Oh crap! The Tame is seriously trying to kill me! Killing me! Naruto thought in a panic when he saw the fireball coming at him. He quickly started his own hand signs. Earth style mud wall jutsu! He declared as a wall of mud shot up from the ground. The unique thing about this wall of mud was that it has a swirl-like symbol on the front of the wall, very similar to the ones on the Konoha shinobi vest Chunin and Jonin had.
Yeah, like it's such a special technique because it has my symbol on it.
So wait, it's a variation, or did he seriously learn the chakra control necessary to make sure he raises the mud wall, and while it's forming, make the spiral appear?
Yes.
No, it's just special because
it's just special because it's Naruto.
Theoretically, could you have it in that case just have basically either a giant middle finger aimed at the person or just a dick?
No, because not everyone's as special as Naruto.
Yeah, you can't be as special as Mr. Whirlpool himself, okay?
And there's no clan more powerful than the Uzumaki clan. Even the Uchiha are weak compared to them.
Yeah, they just get bodied like fodder.
We will never stop. I'm responding to the Discord chat, by the way.
Yeah, I saw.
We will never stop.
I don't think he likes it when I slurp.
The only thing worse is to have a proper lisp. Have a lisp and slurp.
What? A lisp?
Yes. Talk with a lisp, like the dumbass from New Jersey.
That's so cool,
Yes,
dude.
the dumbass from
New
Jersey.
Jersey, but not quite New Jersey. Okay, let me just say that. Okay, let me just say, that's very mean of you to say, Smurf.
he got off. He got off.
Hey, what happened?
Classic.
Got off the chat.
Another event that had also happened after the Mizuki incident was that the third Hokage decided, though, he would let Naruto learn all the offensive jutsu that he got from the scroll.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I know. This is such a weird. This person could be British or Australian.
Is there?
Australian.
Yeah, because Arabian Nights is also Australian.
Yeah.
No, offensive is with an S, but
yeah, I know.
Offense with a C is British.
Yeah, I know. I was seeing if there was any variation of English if it was accurate, but no.
Oh, you'd be screwed with me because I spell armor and color with a U.
Oh no, I don't mind that.
Like, no, I'm saying it'd be kind of difficult to determine. Wait, is he British? Because he's spelling it this way, but yet it's also I spell shit the American way as well.
That he got from the scroll. He thought that he should give a more defensive jutsu. He spells defensive right, though.
He spells it right, and just above it, it's. Oh, God damn it!
To the young Jinchuriki in the hopes of help him in the near future. And as the jutsu-loving Genin that Naruto was, he was more than happy when he was given a new jutsu, like a child was given a new toy. Though unlike his wind style, it took him a lot longer to get a hang of it. But he still made some progress, making him believe that he had Earth as a second element. Because Naruto's so cool. Because Naruto's so cool, guys. No.
Is it canon that you can have two affinities without it being a bloodline?
Yeah, Sasuke.
As in be born with two natural affinities.
Sasuke has both fire and lightning.
Yeah, but did he train it? That's what I'm wondering.
No.
He trained his fire at the very least.
Yeah, he at least trained his fire because when he was learning Fireball before graduating.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if he naturally had it, or if it was just he was working on it and didn't realize
Well,
that it wasn't.
if I recall correctly, fire is genetic for the Uchiha. Fire affinity is genetic for them.
Yep.
But remember, he's kind of the reincarnation of Indra, so if there'd be anybody that would be the exception, it'd be him. It's just that I don't know if that was like a fanon thing that was so prevalent in fan fiction, where that there are people without bloodline abilities that can have two affinities naturally occurring.
Well, the
or if that
bloodline
actually
abilities
is
are them
necessary.
combining the
Yeah,
elements.
yeah.
Ah.
The bloodline is being able to combine them into
So
new releases.
wood release would be like water and earth.
Yeah, ice release is air and water.
You could still have affinities to water and earth, but since you're not a senju, you wouldn't be able to combine them.
Yeah, I know that, but it was just that I was wondering if you can be born with your chakra having the two naturally leaning towards
There is no indication that it's impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Velox, it's I don't know. It's been like 2-something hours, and
We're just over halfway through.
Just over halfway through, so.
And remember, we did spend 30 minutes on the High School Musical thing.
Oh yeah, so yeah, in 2 hours. Technically.
Yeah. It's yeah.
I'm probably gonna stick around for another 20 minutes and then get off.
I should have gone.
Yeah,
to sleep.
it's closing in on time to call it. Anyway, we
Get to the name reveal first, and then call it.
There's
No,
Okay.
seriously, it drags the fuck on. Trust me, it drags on. I'd almost just say wait until tomorrow or whenever the next meetup, because seriously, it just kept dragging on.
Awesome, it worked! Naruto shouted with excitement as the jutsu finally worked. What? Sasuke thought in shock as he saw a wall of mud rise up from the ground, completely blocking Naruto from his fireball. When the hell did he learn that? He asked himself as he then gritted his teeth in frustration. This match might have just gotten more complicated than I originally thought. He then admitted in his head as he now saw that Naruto was much stronger and capable than before the Genin exams. It's only been a week, guys, and he's so much stronger than before.
quite powerful.
Soon after, Naruto used the cover to create another shadow clone. Then he and the new clone jumped over the mud wall as they had just finished making some hand signs. Wind style, air bullet! Both of them called out in unison as a small barrage of air bullets shot towards Sasuke with the intent on doing a decent amount of damage before the clone soon dispersed itself from the overuse of the wind jutsu.
What is a decent amount of damage?
Unclear.
It's a bullet. We've seen what an air bullet can do.
I'm gonna need you to get me all the way off my back about that.
A compressed jet of skull fuck. That is the definition of an air bullet.
Crap! Sasuke exclaimed as he quickly used a substitution jutsu to safely get away from the oncoming attack. Then he looked back and saw the log that he substituted with completely destroyed. How did he get
destroyed?
How did he get this strong? Was he hiding his true power during our academy years? If so, then why? He thought as he hid behind a training log to catch his breath. Hey Sasuke, if you're wondering why I'm much stronger now, Naruto started, freaking Sasuke out as he thought that the blonde had just read his mind. I decided to take things seriously now. I'm not the same kid from our academy days that everyone looked down as the worst dead last, he declared.
Academy Day? So like last Friday?
Yeah, our academy days. You mean last week?
I wish someone would mention that. Just like trope subversion shit. It's like, you mean just last week, dumbass?
Sasuke grunted.
You're not dealing with the average.
You're not dealing with the average Genin of Konoha. Sasuke grunted as he heard this declaration and moved away from the training log, and Naruto could see a different look on the last Uchiha's face. It wasn't the same face of indifference, but of one that just screams he didn't want to lose. Seriously or not, I'm still gonna kick your ass! He yelled in a tone unlike himself as he started gaining distance. In response to the declare, Naruto was briefly shocked by the way Sasuke said that. The hell? When did Mr. Calm, Cool, and Emo get this type of personality? He thought in confusion. Inside of the seal, the Kyuubi was desperately trying not to laugh, as he was enjoying this match. He could practically see where this was heading. Oh no.
He's gonna tear the bandages from the chest.
Probably. That's what I'm thinking. Sasuke, meanwhile, didn't even realize that he had changed his demeanor as he narrowed his eyes, and he narrowed his eyes at the blonde.
Yep.
Narrowed his eyes
As he narrowed his eyes at the
I
blonde.
went down the stairs. As I went down the stairs.
I started running as I went down the stairs. Alright, so this version of the blonde idiot is a bit more of a powerhouse now. I gotta be careful, he thought to himself as he was now ready to fight with everything he's got. Where is he? Naruto muttered to himself, scouting the area around him, his body tense with anticipation. Where's the Tame? He asked himself, as he soon sent another small amount of chakra to his ears to enhance his hearing. This made him heard a sudden whirl in the wind, before he quickly took out a kunai and deflected some shuriken that were headed from his blind spot. There! He then shouted as he threw the kunai in the direction the shurikens were thrown. At once, Naruto heard a soft thud and assumed he hit his mark, only to see that it was a log that he hit. What the hell? He got out, annoyed as he fell for that. Sasuke, meanwhile, didn't miss his chance of the blonde's startlement as he dashed as fast as he could at Naruto. Hyah! He yelled out in a slightly high-pitched tone as he reached his opponent from behind and roundhouse kicked him into some trees and bushes. Gotcha now, he declared in triumph tone thinking he finally won. Naruto, however, quickly flipped on his hands to readjust himself and landed on his feet. He then quickly turning around and watching the Tame with his smug look. Lucky shot. He cracked his neck quickly as he once again enhanced his speed again and dashed at even faster speeds that caught Sasuke off guard. Then Naruto delivered a strong punch to his opponent's gut that made him cough out some saliva from the impact and was sent skidding backwards. And that payback, he soon remarked. Sasuke slowly began to regain his balance as he gasped in pain and coughed up more saliva. How did he managed to get out to himself before he then felt cold metal press against his neck. Give up, Tame. I got you this round, Naruto said in a serious manner as he had maneuvered himself behind Sasuke and placed a kunai against the base of his neck as a sign of instant death if it was a real fight.
Should change the story name to Naruto Commits Domestic Abuse.
This made Sasuke grind his teeth in frustration. Damn! He soon got out, knowing that he lost the first round, and that if Naruto wins one more, his secret is as good as gone. He's this strong? He thought, enraged at the idea of someone like Naruto beating him in a fight. Lucky win. He then unintentionally got out. Luck had nothing to do with it, Naruto said with a small grin as he removed the kunai from Sasuke's neck and placed it back in his holster. I've just learned some crazy truths about myself, and then trained to improve myself because of that, he explained, half regretting some of the stuff he learned as his hand unintentionally went to his stomach where his seal was. He then turned to stare at Sasuke and gave a slight confused look. What's up with him? He thought as he remembered how he was acting earlier. Sasuke, meanwhile, wanted to question what he meant, but he knew the blonde probably wouldn't answer anyway. Fine, then get ready for round 2, he then responded. Naruto then jumped back to create a fair amount of space between him and Sasuke before taking out some shurikens on each hand. Then bring it, Tame, he roared at he then threw them at his rival. Sasuke couldn't help but smirk at what had been happening. Gladly, he responded as he quickly took out his own shurikens and threw them, the flying stars deflecting the ones that Naruto threw. As both barrages of shurikens bounced off each other, the two rushed at each other again, determined to win for their own specific reasons, but now both sharing the exact same thought. I'm winning this fight! The both thought in harmony. Oh, they're already harmonizing, guys. You just know they're meant to be now. As they both cocked back their fists and then delivered a cross punch to each other's face. When the attacks met each other's cheeks, they both flew in the opposite direction, with Naruto slamming against a tree, causing his to gasp in pain, and Sasuke falling into some thorn bushes near the Uchiha gardens. Okay, that one hurt. Naruto got out as he rubbed his back from its soreness from the impact of the tree, while he struggled to get to his feet. Though he had a good healing factor, he could still feel the lingering effects of impact pain. Damn it! Again! Sasuke muttered to himself, as he was once again sent flying by the blonde, as he struggled to get out of the bushes, not realizing that some parts of his clothes got torn from the thorns. Sasuke soon saw that Naruto was still down and quickly took out some ninja wire from his pouch and rushed towards the dome, unknowingly that a thorny twig was stuck on the tear on his clothes. So when he moved hastily, the tear grew even bigger, showing more of his figure. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Sasuke then wrapped the wire around Naruto's neck, tightening it slightly only as a threat to cut off his head if he pulled on it more. Give up? He taunted with a very un-Sasuke-like tone. Naruto, who was too shocked about the wire around his neck to notice the tone, then when he saw Sasuke's smirk, he finally snapped out of his daze. Fine. I surrender, Tame. This time. He got out with a groan as he felt Sasuke releasing the wires around his neck as the Uchiha placed it back inside of his pouch. Damn. I can't believe I lost focus like that, he thought to himself before looking at Sasuke, who was walking away to get some distance for the last round, as he now was noticing his waistline as it was clearly curved inward. Okay, something is definitely off about him, he thought as he was now really confused. I will say this. Naruto is in character for how confused he is. I do not see canon Naruto figuring this out either.
You going?
I had to get a drink.
Man needs his drink.
His drink.
By this point, Kyuubi was in actual pain from holding back his roaring laughter at how dense and stupid his container was, to the point where he couldn't even speak. Time to end this, Naruto, Sasuke declared as he got into his clan stance for the final time, not even realizing that he had just called him by his name. Bring it, Sasuke! You got me last time, but I won't fall for it again, Databayo. Oh, look, we haven't seen that in a few paragraphs. Naruto said, getting into his stance again, as he too didn't realize he called him by his actual name. The two stare intensely at each other, as you could cut the tension with a knife. They both didn't even care about the bet anymore. They just wanted to win this fight, as they finally were serious and would go at it with everything they got. Naruto soon made the first move as he created some clones to distract the Uchiha, while he quickly took out a kunai and began to slash each clone with a fluidity and grace that the clones didn't so much as land a single hit. He then pulled out his ninja wire once more and caught one of the clones. Then he pulled the captured clone and sent him straight to another group, instantly dispelling them. Naruto saw that, though, and he and his clones were stronger. Sasuke, on the other hand, was clearly faster and had more grays in his movements that made numbers useless. Damn. How the hell I'm going to hit him? I thought that my air bullet would be fast enough. he thought to himself as he began to think of what he should do. Then he got an idea. He nodded to himself as he began to make new hand signs, completely different from his air bullet jutsu. I hope this works. Please don't shred my hand. Again? He begged to Kami as he finished going through the signs, landing on the dog sign. Then wind began to gather around his fist as a rapid velocity. Wind style, beast wave palm! He soon declared as his wind chakra on his right hand took form of a claw made of pure wind. Before he swiped his hand in a vertical slash towards Sasuke. This created a shockwave of razor-sharp air slashed right after the Uchiha. Yes! He shouted with glee at the jutsu working. In the seal, the Kyuubi started to calm himself down at the declaration of the jutsu. So, he's finally able to use it now. Not bad. He got out with a smirk, already knowing the after effects of it. Unlike the air bullet that he learned from the scroll or the earth wall that was given to him by the Hokage, the Beast Wave Palm Jutsu was actually given by the Kyuubi as a sign of good fate, as it was probably 3 times more powerful, but also just as hard, or even harder than learning the air bullet, as one small error may cause massive cuts or gashes in his arms. When he failed to do it, it made it more apparent, though making him luck that he had the Kyuubi's chakra for healing the wounds. What do you mean, Noah, by what proof? Oh, I'm not drinking alcohol. I live in a dry county.
Well, I never stopped anyone, except for you, apparently.
I can't drive.
I never stopped anyone in a dry county.
No, I physically cannot get to an alcohol store. I would have alcohol. I just can't get it.
Make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the internet. You can just look up how to make moonshine. And then you'll have the ATF on your ass.
A proud Southern tradition.
Sasuke, however, could only look on in pure shock at the powerful B, possibly bordering on A rank jutsu that was heading at its speeds much greater than he could move, so he knew he couldn't let said powerful wind jutsu to hit him. If that thing hit, I'm dead, he thought with a panic as he figured that his fireball jutsu wouldn't be able to block it, let alone had time to perform it. So all he could do was send chakra to his legs, and jumped back as far as possible, and tried to use the mini trees as an improvised shields. The powerful wind jutsu destroyed many trees. This managed to take most of the damage of the jutsu, but some of the remaining razor wind attacks still managed to reach him. Sasuke used his hands to cover his torso and face, though luck was on his side as the wind only hit his already torn shirt. Damn, wasn't expecting that. Now I'll have to... He started muttering after feeling the jutsu dying down, but... Well, what the... Sasuke then heard the Uzumaki shouted before uncovering his face, and soon noticing him slack-jawed in shock and disbelief.
Jesus, what the fuck just happened? Heard the Uzumaki shouting before uncovering his face. Who? Who was uncovering their face? Sasuke, I guess?
What?
Yeah.
It's unclear. In
the
shock.
Is, I tuned out for a second. I thought I was talking about Naruto, because we all know that Sasuke is a girl.
What? We're getting there. In shock and disbelief, with a massive blush starting to appear on his face. Oh, okay. Well, what the hell is this, Dadabayo? He then exclaimed in utter confusion. Eh? Sasuke got in as he looked at the Uzumaki.
Exactly, Tim Allen, the Tim Allen.
What's up with him? It looks like he barely got out just before he then felt a draft coming from his chest.
I swear she should achieve the Sharingan.
Yes.
The fucking sheer emotional drama here should awaken the Sharingan. Oh my gosh, no.
Coming from his chest and could feel the tickling of long, silky hair against his back. This made him widen his eyes in pure terror at what this could only mean. Oh no, he fearfully muttered, pale-faced as he slowly moved his head downward. Confirming his fears, he saw that his upper body was completely exposed, with 2 mounds of flesh on his chest were free, while also not noticing that his face started shifting slightly into a more cuter, baby-like face, as it then went crimson red instantly at what happened. How? He thought in a more meek tone, as he could only stare at the freed large mounds of flesh. This was the straw that broke the camel's back, as the QB was now roaring with uncontrollable laughter of this whole insane situation. I can't believe it took a jutsu I gave the kid to find out about his so-called rival, and she's stacked of all things. God. QB's a pedo. He then declared between his roaring laughter as he then continued to laugh madly. Naruto, however, was still in a state of shock to even process what the Byakuji just said, as all he could do was stand there gaping like a fish at the sight before. Then he quickly turned away with a massive blush on his face, as he then realized that he was staring at a very intimate part of a female's body. So not wanting to look like a pervert, he quickly took off his jacket. Oi! Tame! He called out as he tried to sound composed, but failing miserably at it. In Sasuke's head, he, or should I say she, was panicking as she knew Naruto saw everything that she had hid for almost all her life. What, Dobe? She said nervously as she tried to sound like normal, but it sounded more feminine as a result, before looking up to see his head turned and presenting his jacket. Eh? She got out in confusion at the sight of the orange jacket. Here, put this on before you catch a cold, would you? Naruto then requested as he turned his crimson red head away to keep Sasuke's modesty intact. Well, as best as he could, that is. Though still very embarrassed and confused, Sasuke just nodded as she took the jacket as she quickly got it on to cover her ample chest that she was secretly proud of, but also hated it at the same time, as it really made it difficult for keeping her gender a secret. Thank you, she meekly responded in a young girl tone, complete of forgetting to keep up her male persona. Naruto then looked toward the Uchiha after hearing the sound of a zipper, and saw that he, or rather she, now had the jacket on, as it made her bust actually look even bigger. Even though she was only 12 like himself, she was in fact very well developed, which he blushed at before he then carefully placed his hand on her own and gently led her back to her apartment. Let's get you back home, he soon decided. Sasuke could only nod it in response, as her head was more or less brain dead from all that happened. All right, I'll explain everything there, she said monotonously as she let Naruto lead the way, though she didn't realize that she was staring at their joined hands with a small blush on her face. The two genin then began to walk back to Sasuke's apartment in a quiet yet somehow comforting silence. Near Sasuke's apartment. The two genins were now just standing just around the corner of Sasuke's home, as she had her head low while Naruto was still leading her by the hand. Now what do I do? She thought as she looked at Naruto's calm face before she looked away. He saw everything, she muttered in a feminine and slightly fearful tone, as she was too embarrassed to keep on looking at him. And now he'll tell the Hokage, then they will know too, she soon added in her head with even more fear, as she then looked at the Uzumaki, only for hers and Naruto's eyes to meet. This caused the two of them to blush red, as they then looked away with embarrassment. Naruto, in response, scratched his cheek from embarrassment. Then the two had finally reached Sasuke's apartment. He then opened the door to her apartment and led her inside. Once inside, he then
Yep.
led her to the nearest couch. how about you get properly dressed now? He then request. Oh my god.
Yep.
He then requested as he wanted to kick himself for the lack of tact.
Tack.
Way to go, taking charge, Kyubi sarcastically commented with a chuckle. Naruto, however, was still too embarrassed to even process what he said, as he tried looking at anything but the last Uchiha, but his eyes couldn't help but just stare back at her. This comment from the blonde made Sasuke's blush even more red as she looked at him. She then crossed her arms over her chest, as if to try and hide them, before remembering that she was using Naruto's jacket to cover up, which she felt embarrassed of using a boy's clothing to hide her female pride. She then quickly ran towards her. She then quickly ran towards her room to grab a new shirt. Why did this happen? She muttered with an embarrassed tone, while also feeling that having the blonde Genin seeing her upper torso was more important than the fact her secret was revealed to said blonde. He's going to want to know. She got out. He already wanted to know. That's the entire point of the fight. Eventually, when she finally found something to wear, she took off Naruto's jacket and placed it on her bed, which also caused her breasts to bounce at the movements, causing her to blush at the sight before she then swiftly got a bra that she normally only used inside of her home, and then put on a normal light blue shirt. Once now fully dressed, she headed back to the living room, where Naruto was waiting for her. Once she finally returned back to the living room, she saw that Naruto was sitting on her sofa. Then, after she took a deep breath and gathering her courage, she then sat down on the same sofa as well, though on the other end, as she stared at her feet while trying to come with some way to get herself out of this mess without involving Naruto in her life. Soon after, about 30 or so minutes of staring at each other awkwardly, Naruto decided...
30 minutes?
Yes, 30 or so.
Oh my god. I'd understand it was like half a minute, like just...
Yeah, 30 or so seconds of awkward silence is long enough.
30 minutes.
Just
I
sit.
can't imagine them
Just,
getting fucking bored.
they're both.
We're gonna stop at the name reveal, okay?
Yeah.
Well, when is the
Whatever
name
the hell
reveal
that-
again?
I hope it's coming up soon.
But,
We're
dude,
we're
I wanna
already
finish the
past
chapter
3
at this
hours.
point.
I told you it dragged on.
Yeah, but like how long?
Hopefully, this chapter.
Oh, we're close. We're very close.
Okay.
So, Sasuke, he soon began. Huh?
Shit. What?
Sasuke cocked one eyebrow, secretly nervous about what the blonde would say. Naruto felt awkward, but he knew he had to set things straight. Sasuke. He repeated the name, knowing that this was really going to be awkward for him, as for some reason he didn't understand, wanted to be considerate at the person in front of him. So, you're a girl, huh? He
You're
bluntly...
a girl.
It's reminding me of Harry Potter Book 4. Hermione, you're a girl.
Well spotted, Ron.
He bluntly asked her before mentally kicking himself again. Smooth one, Kit. Smooth one. Kiwi deadpanned from the seal after calming himself down from the laughing he did earlier. This made Naruto groan in embarrassment, as he felt like an idiot as he realized how inconsiderate that was. Sasuke couldn't hide her shock, fully knowing that Naruto got a good look at her during the spar. Yeah? So what, Dobe? She retorted, trying to sound like his male persona as Yes, trying to sound like his male persona as an attempt to hide her nervousness. But she failed very badly, as it sounded like a cute girl trying to sound like a grown man. In response, Naruto stood up while looking at Sasuke in the eye. He really wanted to lift this really heavy atmosphere. He then began to think of what he could possibly say to lighten it. Suddenly, a mischievous smile spread across his lips as an idea popped inside of his head. You know, you've got a really great figure. Plus, an actual set of breasts that any girl would kill for.
What the fuck is this shit?
What the fuck, Naruto? He openly said, trying to lighten the mood with some humor. But unfortunately, it was possibly the worst thing to say to a girl, though he didn't deny what he said was true. Give you an A for effort, but an F for performance. Also double D's, kid. The QB then stated as he was referring to a certain area of the girl.
It's a
Double
12-year-old.
Fuck.
Oh my
As
god.
Zero just said, it's the 12-year-old.
I thought you said
What?
we were gonna get in the name reveal.
We
When is it?
are. I didn't think that they'd reveal her breast size before her names, but hey,
Dear
I
God.
guess the author has their priorities.
God. He repeated in a perverse tone. Shut it! Naruto roared back inside of his mind. Sasuke, on the other hand, was taken by surprise by the compliment, instantly blushing bright red before looking away from him. Thanks.
Fuck?
I think. She honestly got out, how she didn't know what to think since she had never once been complimented by her female appearance, because if she had, she would have taken that as sexual harassment.
Wait,
That's
what was it?
That's never happened before, she admitted in her head. Regardless, to her, it was very confusing to receive such compliments for her female charms. But strangely enough, she began to feel something warm in her chest thanks to Uzumaki's compliment. It was something that she had never felt before, but for some reason it felt right to have someone, even if it was Naruto, complimenting her on something other than how she was the last Uchiha or the Rookie of the Year. What is this? This feeling? What is it that makes me feel as if I need to be close to Naruto-kun? Of all people. Oh god.
Peach, when is the reveal?
She thought, confused at what was happening to her.
Yeah.
Not even
like,
realizing that she's subconsciously added
sentences.
kun to his name. Sasuke? Naruto got out after an awkward moment of silence between the two. At least it's only a moment of silence this time.
Yeah.
30 minutes.
You could have another
Naruto
30
got
minutes of
after
awkward.
2 hours of silence between the two.
Is that even her real name? He thought out of honest curiosity. As if reading his mind, Sasuke was slightly twiddling her thumbs as she was thinking of how to reply.
What does it say? Noah,
It's
congratulations.
Satsuki. Yes, congratulations, Noah.
You called it.
You win nothing.
She soon corrected in a quiet tone as her face
Congratulations,
became
Noah.
one
Go
of
fuck
fear and
yourself.
anxious. And please don't tell anyone about this. Please.
Oh, wait, no, we got to
Sasuke,
the name we can stop. Thank God.
now named Satsuki, muttered her plead as tears began to run
We
down
can
her
stop. We got
eyes,
to the name.
surprising
we
the
got to
blonde at
name.
what she was doing.
We
I
got to the
couldn't-
name.
I know. I couldn't
It's the
stop in the
gospel.
middle of a paragraph, though.
I know. It's 1 a.m. for you. It is 2:15 for me and Murph. It is 2 p.m. for Balls, and it is 1 p.m. for Noah, and I think Zero. So
No.
no,
1
1 a.m. Fuck.
2:14 a.m. I'm gonna change
Oh, you're
Noah's
in my
name to
time
Satsuki.
You can't. He is Agent
Noah
of Chaos.
is
He's not
also-
Agent of Chaos.
Noah's
I
not
mean,
an
on my
agent
server.
anymore.
It's free real estate.
He's on my server, so his name is now Satsuki.
Yes.
And it is so on this server as well. Because Noah doesn't have Agent of Chaos. Get fucked. Yeah, no, Noah's in old St. Louis, so he's got that hour behind the ESC. He's got that Central Time Zone.
Central Time Zone is best time zone.
Meanwhile, we have Balls. It's the middle of the fucking afternoon on
related.
Sunday for him. The Filipino time zone.
But yeah,
What a great story.
It's time